Time for the late night box talk. It's a lot going on. It's a whole lot going on. Let me untangle these headphones. That's going to drive me crazy. It's a lot going on. It's a whole lot going on. You know what I mean? We got the night driving music, the relaxing music, put y'all in a good mood. Talk about this boxing. You know what I mean? We got a good card. Got two good cards tomorrow. What's goody, Avo? What's goody, Jack? Paraguay Dirty. What's good? Victor Jimenez. Que lo que, manín? Jay Flint in the building. JBN in the building. MA. Rafa. Que lo que, manín? We out here. And yeah, we got two good cards tomorrow. The highlight fight of the weekend for me is Baumgartner versus Leonard II 2. That will be Alicia's chance for revenge for the loss she suffered approximately 5 years ago. She was very young then, and she wasn't as versatile, you know? Whereas now, you know that she had that fight, the fight with Christina, the fight with Terry Harper and Elham Khaled. She's a way better fighter now, at least in my opinion. She's more well-rounded, and she's a way better fighter, not limited to just moving lateral and pot shotting and setting up counters and sticking to the jab. She showed, at least in her last fight to me, that if she got to take the initiative and step into her punches and step to her opponent, she could do that too. She's not your run-of-the-mill pure boxer, Alicia Baumgartner, because a lot of pure boxers, a lot of them, they don't generate power that much because they're fighting on the balls of their feet. They're fighting on their toes. They're not really sitting on their punches. So when they pot shot, you know, like what you saw in the Rashidi Ellis versus Roman Villa fight, that, yeah, you know, Ellis is touching him with the jab and he's touching him with the jab, but he's doing that while he's moving. He's doing it on the fly. So it doesn't have the same, it doesn't land with the same authority. And that's true of many pure boxers, except Alicia. That's kind of what sets her apart, that even if she's moving and changing levels, when she lands hard, as if she were sitting on her punches. She could do that on the fly. She can do that stepping into the jab and bringing the right hand over when she digs to the body. So I think that that's what helps to make her a more versatile fighter than some other pure boxers. Not all pure boxers have that kind of power. When you have that kind of power, it opens up other scenarios and other opportunities that you know and you're confident if you could land a certain punch, you'll hurt the opponent, be able to move in and put other punches together. Tomorrow's fight with Christina, who is some years older, you know, she's only had about 2 fights in the last 3 years. She hasn't had to make 130 in about 5 years. When they fought for the first time, that was 5 years ago at 130. And, you know, I said it in a video that I did, that for a 35-year-old woman, I don't imagine that weight is easy to make. What saves her is that she was already moving down. You know, she was going to move down for the Michaela Mayer fight down to 135. Now she had to, you know, cut an extra 5 to make 130. But everything is a trade-off. Everything is a caveat. You cutting that weight and making that weight that you haven't made in a long time, you know, that could show up in the ring, that you leave something in the gym. Because what makes Christina formidable is that she's a pressure fighter that's explosive. But it takes energy to do all that. It takes energy to keep the pressure on your opponent every single round. It takes energy to throw them big bombs, them big hooks. And that's constant with her. That's a constant thing. Tomorrow, what I feel is like she's going to be second best. She's always going to be a step behind Alicia, always a step behind. Alicia's going to be sharper. As long as I've followed her career, she's not the kind of fighter that gets really big in between fights. Like her walk around weight, I don't imagine is that far off from her weigh-in weight. She's not a big woman. She doesn't get big in between fights. So it's kind of like she's almost in shape the whole year round. So if she go into a camp, it's not a fat camp. It's not a camp where we really focusing on making a weight. it's a camp where they'll focus on strategy. They'll focus on what they got to do because she stays in shape. If you follow any of her social media accounts, you'll see that this is a fighter that stays in shape year round. They never out of shape. They never looking pudgy. None of that. You know what I mean? And that's in between fights. Because of that, I feel she has an advantage over most other fighters at this weight, that she don't have fat camps. So she's going to be sharp the night of the fight. I think she's going to be very sharp tomorrow. And I'm a fan of both fighters. So, you know, I'm just calling it down the middle that I do think Alicia is going to stop her. I do think she's going to stop her. I do think that. And it should be a great fight to watch because the first fight was an entertaining fight. It was an action fight. This fight will have a similar aesthetic to the Mekhaled fight, with the difference being that Christina does have more firepower than most other fighters at this weight. I only question how much of that firepower are we going to see, because she hasn't had to make this weight in a long time, 5 years. She is older now than she was in the first fight. One thing about Christina is a caveat. Everything she throws is with bad intentions. What it do, Rachel? What it do, Nonito? I heard the news. I'm glad y'all got added to the card. Very glad for that. For those that don't know, Nonito will be on the undercard of Spence versus Crawford. A welcome addition. Welcome addition to the card. Very happy for him. I've never seen a boring Nonito Donaire fight. All his fights are entertaining. Win, lose, or draw, they're all entertaining fights. So I'm very glad to hear that. I believe he's going to win the title. I believe he's going to become WBC champion. And we'll see what happens at bantamweight, because I said it in a video I did in reference to Nonito's fight, that if you think about what's out there at 118 right now, it's an open book. And there's a lot of those guys that he can beat. There's a lot of those guys that if there was a unification match, is he not just winning a title, he can become unified, maybe undisputed, if, you know, things happen fast. And you know, I'm looking forward to seeing him on that card. Back to Christina and Alicia. One thing that's good and bad about Christina throws all her punches with bad intentions, but there's a trade-off. When you load up on all your shots, you're gonna get tired. You know, you are gonna get tired. Now, most pressure fighters, your Roman Villa, you know, your Jarrett Hurd, your Sebastian Fundora, your David Lemieux, your elite level pressure fighters like an Artur Beterbiev. Most pressure fighters, one thing that's consistent with pressure fighters is they have a good engine. They have good cardio. They can throw punches in bunches and keep up the pace in the 10th round, the 11th round, the 12th round. Most pressure fighters. But with Christina, because she loads up on all her punches, like she throws all her punches like she's trying to put her fist through you. You know, she loads up on all the shots. And the trade-off of that is you burn more energy because you're putting so much on every single punch. You burn out. You could burn out. You could gas out. And I've seen some of that in her fights, like when she fought Delphine Persoon, you could see that she got tired. To her credit, Delphine will make you tired, though. So it's not just one way. Delphine, she will also put you in a situation where you're going to get tired. Maybe you get stopped, you know? The great Delphine Persoon of Belgium. So, you know, it's gonna be a good card. I am going to go live for the card tomorrow. I am going to watch it. We're going to talk about it here on the channel. Also, news broke today that Gervonta Davis has served out his sentence, which was about 3 months, you know, slap on the wrist, a little bit of jail time, a little bit of parole, and, you know, he's back out doing what he do. And the main thing for me is that whether he was locked up or not, ain't nothing stopping Leonard or Tom Brown or Stephen Espinoza from making a play for a Devin Haney fight. That Davis is locked up, but you know what? Davis ain't the one that send the emails and make all the phone calls. That's not on him anyway. Y'all know when he getting out. Y'all know around what time y'all could do a fight for him. Devin is a network and promotional free agent. And after all this time, at least, based on what's out there and what is not out there, no play has been made, no offer. We see Matchroom made a play to do some fights with Devin Haney. We see Top Rank got a little bit of things going on. They got some things they want to do with Devin. But we don't see Gervonta. And I mean, that's what I expected. That's what I've been saying, that all this time, you could send them something. If you are who you say you are, and you are what people, what they claim you are, that you're this big draw, this big cash cow, well, then you should be able to bankroll that fight easy, a fight with Devin. But we all know we're not stupid. Some people are, but we're not. Devin is not as popular as Ryan Garcia. He doesn't have the same commercial value as Ryan Garcia, so that creates problems. Now, Devin has been making very good money for a long time, and I don't blame him. I would not want to go backwards on the money any more than he would, so I do understand that. But that creates a complicated situation because you cannot pay him the way you pay an Isaac Cruz. You cannot pay him the way you pay a Rolly Romero. He already makes more money than they do, just fighting who he's fighting. Go out there with a Linares, a Jojo Diaz, he gets around 2-3 mil. That's just the purse. I don't even know what other money he got. He might have sponsorship money, endorsement money. That's other money. But from the fight and the fight purse, you looking at a guy, he get out there with a Linares or a Diaz, he getting like 2-3 mil for that. So when you fighting somebody that is supposed to have some stature, like a Gervonta Davis, well, the expectation is that, all right, I'm about to get more money than I normally get because I'm fighting somebody who's more popular than the people I normally fight. And if they talking anything other, then I would say, the guarantee for Devin Haney, I feel just based on the numbers that are out there, I feel that the guarantee to a Devin Haney should at least be in the neighborhood of 5 to 6. Guaranteed 5 to 6. Because he gets 2 to 3 on his own. So, somewhere in between 4 and 6. Let's call it that. Somewhere in between 4 and 6. Because 3, he could get 3 on his own. If he fighting you, and you supposed to be a cash cow, you are supposed to be able to get him more than that. Otherwise, you're not a cash cow. That's how it go. You know what I mean? It's probably going to be Isaac Cruz, Jack. Like, we all know that. And Isaac Cruz, I believe he's going to be on the undercard also with Giovanni Cabrera. That's another whatever. That's another whatever fight. He's had 3. He's either had 3 or this will be 3. Whatever fights, just whatever. You got a great young fighter over there in Frank Martin. Isaac don't want to know. You got another interesting fighter in De Los Santos. Isaac don't want to know. They're on the same side of the street. They fight on the same platform. And Isaac don't want to do nothing but bide his time waiting for Gervonta. Seems. And I'm going to talk about that. Shout out to my man Napoli. If Devin Haney's next fight going to be with Smith or Wesson? Look, man, check it out. I know he got the gun charge and all of that, but I don't really feel like nothing going to come out of that. Wilder had a gun charge a couple of weeks ago, right? But he's still out here shaking, rattling, and rolling. And I don't really think a lot is going to come out of none of that. You know what I mean? Cervecero que lo que manín. Frank almost 30. No, I dig it. You're not wrong. Like, yeah, he is up there in age, We got to be careful not to think of him as being in the same age bracket as Devin and Ryan and Shakur. Those young guys are in their mid-20s. Frank is a whole grown man, sort of, because he's, but he 30, so he not He not in the teen and tween department. You feel me? He is a grown-up. I agree with you, Mr. Yagami. I do agree with that. Now, Cesar Torres says, it's really not up to Usyk, to be honest. We all know Al Heyman makes the fights. Not sure Frank Martin beats Usyk. But see, that's the thing, my guy. I'm not sure either. I'm not sure either. And it's that question mark that makes us watch. Because we don't know. We don't know if Frank Martin beats him. Don't know if Usyk beats him. But that's what makes it a great fight. And that, you know, Usyk has fought 3 times since the Davis fight. That was over a year ago. And he hasn't had a meaningful fight since then. You know? Seems like a waste of time to me. That if what they want for Usyk is for him to become like, you know, a Mexican draw, you know, like a baby Canelo, Flanello, or Manello or Manila, you know, if they want him to be like a baby Canelo or a baby something, y'all gotta put him in fights that people want to see. Y'all acting like we supposed to be happy just watching him knock off stiffs. Y'all really had this man fighting Gamboa. What is the point of fighting Gamboa? Devin beat him on points. Gervonta knocked him out. Castellanos knocked him out. Crawford knocked him out and really ruined him. I always felt Crawford ruined Gamboa. You know? Like, what y'all got this man out here fighting Gamboa for? What is that going to prove to us? You know, Cruz don't want to fight nobody. He just wants to wait for Gervonta. And he'll probably get him. You know, he'll probably get him in all, because I've maintained that Gervonta's options is not Shakur and Teofimo and Devin and all. These ain't his options. His options are Rolly Romero, Isaac Cruz, and maybe De Los Santos. I say De Los Santos because, hey, he did fight Hector Garcia, so he's not averse to fighting Dominican fighters. He fought Hector. De Los Santos is over there. He don't cost no money. You ain't got to break the bank to get him in the ring. So I look at that as a possibility. That what does Gervonta got to pay De Los Santos to get him in the ring? 500,000? Yeah, they got that. You know? But Cruz is a joke, man. Cruz is a joke. You know what I mean? It's a joke. On top of the jokes in the sport of boxing, got this Fury versus Ngannou thing. The hypocrisy is what gets me. The brazen hypocrisy. You have a sitting champion with a belt, and all Frank can say is, oh, it's a big event. It's a big event. How is that supposed to make me watch? You know, I question what the appetite for that is, because the mysticism around boxing versus MMA has already been dispelled. I feel that both fight fans are mature enough to understand that the MMA guy doesn't stand a chance in the boxing ring, and the boxer don't stand a chance in the octagon. You know, that if it's a real for real crossover, well, you ain't just gonna jump in there with a champion. You're gonna have a couple of developmental fights, build yourself up, get your muscle memory down, tighten up so you don't make mistakes. You know what I mean? If it's a real crossover. When Holly Holm crossed over from boxing into MMA, well, she ain't jumped right in there with Chris Cyborg or Gina Carano or Ronda Rousey. She had a couple of fights. She built herself up, because that's what a real, you know, if you for real, that's how you gonna do it. That's how you gonna do it. But Francis ain't serious about boxing. He just know I get a lot of money losing to this guy. So, and if I lose, ain't nobody gonna hold it against me, because I'm not a boxer anyway. It's a victimless crime. For Ngannou it is. So, you know, that's why they doing that. And I feel like a lot of people understand that now. They're like, yo, dog, like, it's not that MMA guys is bad, or that MMA is bad, or that boxing is bad. It's not none of that. It's just you asking a baseball player to go play football. Why the fuck would I want to see that? The fuck would be the point? It's like asking basketball player to fucking go play fucking volleyball. Well, why the fuck would I want to do that? See that? You know? Shit is crazy. Nah, we're not going to do that, sporting. We're not going to do that. She wasn't trash. She got her ass beat. But she did contribute to that sport in a big way. You know, she was big time for a time. She was getting money. She was popular. You know, she was doing her thing. I ain't even going to shit on her because it's not like somebody else came along and really filled those shoes. You know, I feel like Shevchenko, the Ukrainian lady, the blonde, I feel she's a better fighter all around than Ronda Rousey ever was, but she's not as popular. We cannot say that Valentina Shevchenko has done for MMA what Ronda did for MMA. We can't say that. Munguia neither, and Munguia beat Ronda. But we can't say that Munguia was really popping like that the same way that Ronda was, or Cyborg to an extent. And I like Cyborg, but you gotta admit that Ronda really, she did her thing. You know, she opened a lot of doors for people. But right now, I cannot say that I see a star that is as big as Ronda. Grasso is cool. Grasso's cool, but she ain't buzzing like Ronda was. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with going to the WWE, man. Ken Shamrock went to the WWE, and he was one of the founders of mixed martial arts. Ken Shamrock went to the WWE. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know? She did her thing, man. Respect to her. She did her thing. She got beat, and she got beat bad. But, you know, it's life, yo. You're going to get beat sooner or later. I mean, unless you know. Exactly. Floyd went to the WWE. Mike Tyson went to the WWE. You know, a lot of fighters went to the WWE. Don't mean they're bad fighters. You know? Yeah, Shamrock. You remember Shamrock? I don't know why one of the, you know, Boss Rutan and Ken Shamrock and Don Fry and just that era of mixed martial artists. Those are some of the founding fathers of that sport. They was some of the first ones doing it. Saying Ken Shamrock like that shit don't mean nothing. Ken Shamrock was one of the founding fathers of that shit. Literally. He was one of the first guys out here. Joint locks and all that other shit. Reversals and, you know, he did his thing, you know. Cervecero. Shout out to my man Cervecero for the beer money. Or maybe go get yourself some St. Ides, Night Train, Mickey's, or whatever you drank. Yo, listen, I'm a Corona guy. I'm a Corona guy. Before anything, I'm a Corona guy. You know? So it's all good, man. It's all good. You know, gotta be positive out here. There's too much negativity in the world. I wasn't a big fan of Ronda. But hindsight is 2020. I was not a big fan of Ronda. In fact, I said Holly Holm was going to beat her. On God. I said Holly was going to beat her. Because of how Holly fight. I figured she's going to fight in the octagon the same way she fight in a boxing ring. Because it translates. The lateral movement, the jab. Just add some kicks into it. But the way she fought in the boxing ring is not that different from how she fought in the octagon. Move lateral, set traps, walk the opponent into shots. Same business, just with kicks. And some, you know, joint locks, headlocks, all that good stuff. Corona familiar, porque tu sabes. But yeah, you know, Ronda helped put that sport on the map, man. Gotta give her flowers. She did her thing. You know? Did her thing. Not saying that I think she was the greatest fighter. But that's not, you know, how many fighters that are out there ain't the greatest fighter, you know? Most fighters that are out there ain't the greatest. It's a very short list of fighters that fit in that bracket of, you know, wow, you know? It's a very short list of fighters. Yeah, Ronda was huge in her time, man. She's huge. You know, she did her thing. Now, my goddamn arms hurt. I hate doing arms, being honest. I hate doing these shits, but I got to, so everything grows evenly. Your bicep curls, your hammer curls, tricep extensions. Still doing it all at home using pull-ups, different grips as a base. What I'll do, go to the pull-up bar. Let's say I'll do 15 chin-ups. I'll get right off of that, grab the barbell, hit the curls, and just do that to failure. And I'll just kind of repeat that all day. And yeah, it's filling out a little bit, it's filling out. It takes time and patience. Consistency is the most important thing. I see the gains that everybody look for. I'm getting the gains. But at some point, I'm going to have to join that shitty gym. I don't really want to do that, but there's not a lot in this area, so I don't have a choice. I heard Ronda going back to UFC. Been with WWE a while. She was a horrible wrestler. Hey, man. Yeah, tricep kickbacks, man. Them joints to get you right, bro. Them kickbacks. You believe Bam Rodriguez versus Sonny Edwards will provide enough thrills to be a strong fight of the year contender? Well, my guy, the year is still early. Some good fights out there to be made, I don't know if it'll be fight of the year because Sonny is a thinking man's fighter. He's a thinking man's fighter. And if he has it his way and he's fighting his fight, he's going to slow the other guy down, take something off his work rate, pot shot him, and outmaneuver him. We know that Sonny's not an artillery fighter, He's not an artillery fighter. He's not going out there trying to punch your head clean off your shoulders. He's trying to outmaneuver you and out-hustle you, but not out-muscle you. So, it all depends. Really depends. But it's a high-level fight. Make no mistake. Sonny Edwards has arguably the best feet, the best movement in the whole flyweight division. He's trying to get Clarissa Shields' number. I think he would have to really beat the shit out of Bam to get her number. Because that's what he's shooting for. He's trying to get down with Clarissa. Clarissa says she thinks she got Bam. She said she think Bam gonna win. That's what she said. Dennis said, do a hammer curl with a Corona. Yo, you think I'm not? Shout out to my man Dennis. See him in the comments of every video I upload. I appreciate your patronage, bro. Appreciate that. Always very insightful comments from my man Dennis. Jack says, you think ring belt should be added to Sonny and Bam? To my knowledge, it is. To my knowledge, it is for the Ring Magazine belt. It is for that. So, yeah. I mean, I think it's gonna be added. But I vaguely recall hearing that it has been added. I vaguely recall. For Bam, the assignment is cut the ring off. I think personally he should make a conscious effort to go to Sonny's body because the head is sometimes too hard to hit. If most of what you throw in is head punches, well, Sonny, he know how to stay off the line just as good as anybody else. He know how to stay off the line, make himself tricky. That the body moves less than the head. And Sonny got legs. He can move. So if you want to slow him down, go to the body. Gotta go to the body. And if you throw a couple of combinations, finish the combination off with a body shot to take something out of him, take some air out of the tires. Because if you don't, he's gonna be gliding around that ring. And he gonna be hard to catch. That's reality. That's one of the things he's best at. Knows how to use angles and he knows how to move. He knows how to spin off the rope, stay out of trouble, work in the pocket a little bit, then slip out, get out of trouble, So it's gonna be a good fight. Eddie Hearn said today that he's gonna be an usher at Shields and Edwards' wedding. It's a beautiful wedding, They make a cute couple, Sonny and Clarissa. A cute couple. that's a lot of thigh meat for him, though. It's a lot of thigh meat there for him. He gonna have to work his upper body. Get strong out here, because it's a lot of meat on them bones. Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying, City. Sonny is a problem if you can't slow him down. And so far, not a lot of guys are really able to get to him. Now, we can say that Bam is better than most guys, if not all the guys that Sonny fought, which is what makes it such a great fight. He's better, but it's not like Bam hasn't been looking human in some of these fights. He has, And who did Bam fight that could really move? That's what makes it such a great fight to me, that you can ask things about Sonny. You can ask things, but you can ask those same questions about Bam. Now, what you can say is that Bam has the better resume because he beat Quadras and because he knocked out Sorun Visai. But what you have to remember is, if you're thinking about the fight between them, Quadras don't fight nothing like Sonny Edwards. Sorun Visai don't fight nothing like Sonny Edwards. Those are two fighters that you ain't gotta look hard to find them in the ring. They ain't gonna be moving lateral, cutting angles, spinning off the ropes, pivoting and all. They not gonna do that. You don't have to find them. They'll find you. A part of what makes Sonny such a hard assignment is you have to go out there and find him. It's not easy. It's not easy, So it's gonna be some shit. It's gonna be some shit. Been putting garlic in my smoothies, man. Who the hell said Fulton is too big for Inoue? I don't know. Wasn't me. I did say that he's the biggest opponent Inoue will have fought, which is true. Inoue ain't ever fought no super bantamweight before. It's his first fight at super bantamweight. So he's the biggest opponent that Inoue will have fought. But I wouldn't say that he's too big for Inoue. No, I wouldn't say that. And yeah, man, I've been drinking these smoothies, man. Shits taste horrible. But garlic is good for your blood. It's got antibacterial properties. It's a good blood thinner, good blood cleanser. Tastes fucking horrible, but you do what you do. A Sonny le gusta quemar petróleo. Bueno, tú sabes, maní. ¿Sabes? Esa niña tiene los mulos grandes, el culito grande. So. Yo veo lo que le gusta. Ella tiene carne en esos huesos. Para mí eso es demasiada mujer para ese muchacho, pero a man can dream. A man can dream. Open up the chat to the panel. Garlic is code for anabolic steroids? Shit, maybe at Gold's Gym. At my house, garlic means garlic. Some relaxing tunes on this Friday night. For those of y'all that ain't out somewhere getting a blowjob, if you sitting here with me, appreciate your patronage.
What's up?
What's going on? Avo. Got Avo 2 in the building. Got JB in the building.
Dímelo, Jules.
Aquí en lo mismo, Chave.
Yo,
We out here.
I'm excited about Alicia's fight, bro. I hope she gets the man.
She's gonna knock her out, man. She's gonna knock her out. That's not gonna don't worry about that fight. I'm gonna watch Frank Martin's fight on my phone because I do like how he fights. I'll watch Frank Martin's fight on my phone, and I'll have the big TV on Alicia's fight or whatever. But that's gonna be an action fight. Rest assured that ain't gonna be no stay on the outside and think about it kind of fight. They gonna scrap. So that's gonna be a good fight.
Well, what if Alicia learned from her first fight and says, "Yo, this chick is kind of big and she's too aggressive for me to do that"? Because I think if she boxes from the outside, breaks her down a little bit, then walks to her, I think she stops her.
I mean, the thing is that in the first fight, that's what she was doing, boxing from the outside and looking to set up the counter. But Christina was coming at her so hard and so fast with so much that it's fucking you up. You know what I mean? That you can't really do that because she's coming right at you and she coming at you with some shit. What's saving her now, I think, is that, Christina is a couple of years older. She hasn't made this weight in 5 years. I'm pretty sure she lost a little bit of a step, half a second off. So the counters might be sweeter. And when you get it in, you can step into it and really fuck her up. You know what I mean? You can really fuck up. Now, like, I like Christina. Don't get it twisted. I'm a fan. But I'm just saying, this is what I think is going to happen tomorrow.
I think Alicia wants to really volley. And
that's what I'm saying. She want to make a statement. She want to make a statement. She want to fuck her up. Like you the only one that has a win on me. So I'm going to fuck you up. Gonna make you pay for that shit.
Yeah, man.
Shit.
Yeah, man.
I ain't mad at that.
Ladies and germs. Long time no see. What's happening, fellas?
Do you think Frank Martin is kind of drained at 135? I mean,
that dude is 30, bro. It's not like he's some young guy. Like, that dude is 30 making 135.
He's 30?
Yeah, because
ese tipo está más viejo que el diablo, man.
Remember this too.
30 años, and you weigh 130 pounds. El diablo, man.
Yeah, but look at it from this perspective. Frank Martin beat Virgil Ortiz in the amateurs at 152. So he's probably coming.
That dude is killing himself to make that weight.
Stupid weight. Yeah.
How tall is he?
I'll tell you what though. He not cut out for 140. He looked sharp. He looked good with Michelle Rivera. Don't get it twisted. He was doing his fucking thing in that fight. But he too goddamn little for 140. He little. He's like Isaac. Like, you could pull him out of your pocket. He'll start shadow boxing. Put him right here on this table.
He's
5'8".
Bro, what you mean? So he the same height as Canelo. That's what you believe?
There's no way that dude's 5'8". Zero.
Maybe on top of some yellow pages.
Yo, you fucking fool. You a fucking fool. But hey, man, think about it. I know the amateurs is a lot different. He was a lot younger, but I look at it from this perspective. I think he has the mindset, I don't care how small I am. I don't care about any, shortcoming I may have to deal with. If I have to go up to 140, I think he has the mindset to say, I don't care. And I think that's going to serve him, because a lot of people. That's cool.
He probably could be like probably could be the Gary Antoine Russell with somebody like that, but that ain't who the fuck we thinking about. We ain't thinking about guys like that. You know who we thinking about? We thinking about the Sandor Martins, the Subriels, the Regis Prograis. And I'm looking at Frank, and I'm like, listen, Brody, you just now fought somebody with a pulse at 135. And he did good. It's not that he didn't do good, but 140 and 135 is different animals, my God. They really are. So, Is
that Artem guy good?
Who? The dude he about to fight?
Yeah, is he any good? Because I'm looking at him on BoxRec right now. He's 12-0 with 7 KOs.
I think he won a bronze medal too, if I'm correct. He's an Olympic medalist.
Shout out to him. That's great. But at the end of the day, Hugo Centurion, that's the only person that I know that he beat. But everybody else, I don't even know who the fuck these people are. Like, you ever heard of Miguel Antin?
Bro, I don't know who the fuck Frank been fighting.
You know who Humberto Galindo is? Bro, you can't just be giving these people these type of fights and say, yo, you ready for Shakur Stevenson? That's
dick eating. Like, that dude is not ready for Shakur, bro. Like, that's that's the other thing that that's the cool shit to say. Yeah, he'll do this, he'll do. Yo, you won't do shit to Shakur, bro. You won't do shit. We'll get him back.
That shit too. I think Shakur will wash him in the cards badly too. Like,
exactly. That dude give him Shakur give him an existential crisis, bro. You crazy?
One thing about Shakur, he's better on the outside. He has a better jab. He puts his combinations together. I think better than Frank. And I think Frank is like a poor man's version of Shakur. And that's funny as fuck, bro.
No, yeah, like that. Frank is not a bad fighter at all. Don't get it twisted. But don't get carried away just because you beat Aldi Ali. Really Aldi Julian Williams. I want to say Family Dollar. I'm Julian Williams, Julian Jackson. Fuck, I'm talking about. He beat Family Dollar Julian Jackson.
And Aldi Ali, because he got the fucking flat top with the Ali face. How'd that work?
Well, because they tried to say that he looked like Ali, but I'm like, nah, he looked more like Julian Jackson. Whoever got that fucked up ass mic, man, get that shit together. Because I don't want to hear that shit. That shit, I hear popping and crackling and shit. Fix that shit.
Mic?
It's not you. It's not you. It's not you.
Yeah,
we can agree.
Motherfuckers.
We can agree. Anytime you have to pull a shtick out when you're boxing, that's never a good sign. If that's the way you're getting attention.
Exactly.
Are you trying to say Blair the Flair was no good? How dare you?
Yo, Blair is a grown ass man that really acting like Ric Flair. That's ridiculous.
It's that Capricorn energy, man.
Nah. Don't even do that, because I'm like, Brody, you really sitting here using Ric Flair whole swag like we not gonna know. Yo, be quiet. You using Ric Flair whole swag like we not gonna know who you got that from. It's Ric Flair, bro. You doing a woo? Ric Flair, bro. Like what do you like? I don't understand how you could borrow that much from Rick and think ain't nobody going up. Like, so what are you trying to be like, boxing Ric Flair?
I mean, you're talking about a dude who's been pulling that shtick for 40 years. Like, we're not gonna know what it is for real.
Bro, one of the most iconic wrestlers in professional wrestling. Let me steal his whole repertoire.
Let me steal
if what you're gonna steal that, at least be good.
Who Rick stole that shit from?
No. Blair stole the woo.
Oh, what? Like, and you really gonna steal the woo? It's like, I don't know what the end game of that is, which is why, look, I'm gonna be real. I thought Blair probably got a little bit of Down syndrome, just a little bit. He just a little bit down. Cause I'm like, what's the matter with you, my guy?
You a foul nigga, bro.
That's not normal, bro. That's not normal for you to be running around pretending that you Ric Flair. That's not normal. We all love Ric Flair, bro. Ric Flair is that guy, bro. Talking shit, Ric Flair is that dude. But I'm saying, like, how you gonna borrow that much from that man? Like, what you trying to be that? Like, you trying to be the boxing Ric Flair? Come on now.
It's the equivalent of him going up there and saying, "Take a bite of a Slim Jim, brother."
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, boxing always had the Ric Flair. His name was Muhammad Ali.
Ric Flair was copying Gorgeous George. He got his shtick from Gorgeous George, man.
Yeah, but we ain't sitting here talking about Gorgeous George, right?
No, we're not. We're talking about your Capricorn brother.
Rick put that shit on the map, bro. Like, everybody borrow from somebody. That's the thing. But Rick is like, nah, Rick did it big time, bro. He had motherfuckers in Harlem. I'm the Rolex wearing, high flying, lemon drop. Like, man, motherfuckers love that guy, man. Crazy?
Him and Dusty Rhodes.
I know where you got that from. When Cam said to that woman with some foul ass shit in that laundromat, and she said, like, yo, you don't have to say that to that girl. That's fucked up. Cam is a grimy nigga.
Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes was classic together, man, because they both could talk hella mean shit. They both had that shtick.
Luis Puente says, does Canelo KO both Charlo brothers in the same fashion? Well, I would say that he's about to take on the tougher Charlo brother. And I would say, look, if he KOs Jermell, there's a very good chance he KOs Jermell, because y'all know my opinion. Jermell is the better fighter. The more ambitious fighter, the better boxer. So if he could KO Jermell, he can KO Jermell.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll KO him so hard that they'll start apologizing like David's father does.
For real, this the most accurate. He said, Blair is the human sideshow Bob. That's crazy. So who's Krusty the Clown then? Oscar?
I gotta ask you this question, Jules. You think Canelo's gonna be wearing them laminated butters?
Oh my God. Yo, listen, I lived in New, I ain't even know, let me tell you something. I'm gonna be real with you. Nah, I'm gonna tell you secret confession. This is real. This is not even like for fun. I had them shits.
Oh no.
Wait, let me talk. I had them shits, right? But I would only wear them in the rain. I had them shits. I had the laminated butters. I had them shits, but I would only wear them in the rain or the snow. I would only wear them in the rain or the snow. That's because that was what I got them.
If I ever want to catch you wearing the laminated Werther's original butters, I would have cut your ass.
Yo, fam, it was 02. It was 02. It was
Jules.
type of shit out there, bitch.
Jules.
Now, wait. Now, I'll say this. Now that I'm older and I see real hiking boots for real terrain, because remember, we in the city, we ain't fucking know nothing, my guy. It's real hiking boots out here that you be looking like Blade out here. Like, you look like some old superhero boots. I would sooner wear that for rough terrain than the laminated butters. Like, nah, them shits, that shit don't even look right, bro. It look like, that shit don't look right, bro.
When Virtuoso called them shits the Werther's original butters, I was crying.
Shit's crazy.
Oh my
Jules, why would you admit that? That's like a grown ass man admitting he's scared of the dark. It may be true, but you don't say that in public.
Nah, that's because ain't nothing to be ashamed of. I was getting money. I had all type of Timbs. I had the Carolina blue with the white trim. I had all color beef and Brocs, all colors. I had all type of Timbs. And I'm still looking for a particular pair that if I find them, I don't care if I got to pay 300 yen. Well, I don't know about that. But I'll see how I feel. It was navy blue, right? Navy blue suede, white bottom, and the white leather part on the top that I loved. Those, like, aside from the tan ones, those was my favorite. And if I could find them shits, I don't think Timberland manufactures them anymore. But when I was young, they had them shits, the navy blue, the indigo joints with the white trim. I'll pay for them shits if I could find them. And yeah, I had the laminated butters. I had them shits, but I didn't like them. It's just I knew, you know what? If it's snowing, I could fuck with these. If it's snowing or if it's raining, yeah, I could fuck with these because they not suede. This shit made out of Krispy Kreme glaze, bro. Like, I had a pair of them shits. I only ever had one pair though. I only ever had one pair of them shits. I bought them like I didn't wear them that much because I'm like, yo, these shits.
That makes it better.
You know, like these shits is type ugly, but or they just look
sort of swords or something behind you. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those my shits. Those my. You know what I'm saying? In case the vampires come, I just gotta grab it. Take care of shit.
I'm looking at them. I think I found it. Was the back of the boot white or black?
Nah, this how they was, bro. It was like a regular construct, right? Yeah. But the suede was navy blue. The whole heel was white. The whole heel, and you know the leather part in the back that go on the back of your ankle, that shit was white. That's how they was, white and navy blue. Beautiful. I think I found one of them, but the nigga had it so fucked up, boy. Like he wear the fuck out them shoes. It's like, oh, you nasty motherfucker. That's the other shit. Tell you what, bro. It was motherfuckers, man. They wear the same Timbs for 2 years. I knew guys like, I'm like, how do you do that, bro? Like, nah, son. And you wear them every day?
Why does it matter? Just educate a guy who's never worn Timbs before. Why does it matter if you wear the same one?
You know why? You know why?
Because the shit is you can see. I'll tell you how I break down because this is how I did it. I would wear my Air Forces knowing that they're gonna fall apart. And that would be my go-to when I was young. I would wear my Forces like, man, fuck it. Knife, dirt, mud, whatever, right? Because my Forces is my default shit for my feet. My Timbs is really like Friday, Saturday, I'm going to put my Timbs on. They nice. The suede is nice. It look nice. You know what I mean?
You gonna be outside, probably at a bar. You throw the Timbs on and shit. Nice get up and fucking shit. I know.
Rec center party, lounge, whatever. Like you like it's like not to say that you can't wear Timbs on a block, of course, but it's like it was impractical for me because I'm like, yo, you gonna be out here standing out here 8 hours on Timbs? Chill, fam. What you Air Maxes, B?
Motherfuckers was only putting Timbs on when they was about to go out somewhere. They try to show out type shit. And motherfuckers who wear Timbs all day, they was
motherfuckers who wear Timbs all day in the summer. You're crazy.
Yeah, they was in the Bing though. A lot of them niggas come from up north though. You know that.
I'm saying that's them. Like me in the summer, for example. Yeah, at night you might see me with a pair of Timbs, but if it's just regular and I'm on my regular, I might have a pair of Dunks. I might have a pair of Forces, just different colors. And then I transitioned off of the Forces to my favorite, still my favorite to this day, Chucks, the Converses. You can't go wrong with a pair of Chucks. You really can't. They're the most versatile. I never liked the Jordans. I've only ever owned a pair of Jordans once in my whole life. Only once. I don't really like them.
The 90s?
That was the God, what was it? It was the blue and white ones. There was two versions of them, the red, black, and white, and the blue and white. And I had those. I had the white and blue, that it was mostly white with the blue. I had those.
I could have thought that if you liked any type of Jordan, I would think that it was some threes. Yeah.
I'll put it, this is why I don't like Jordans. The fuck am I wearing these shits for? What am I going to do? Crease them up? Like, what are they for? Like, I don't understand the concept.
I heard you was nice at ball. I heard you was the Dominican Jordan. You just didn't want to pursue it.
Stop it. You talking about crate ball, right? Crate ball on the scaffolds in New York, remember?
Now you were Cedric Ceballos before Cedric Ceballos.
I'm trying to tell you, crate ball masters out here. NBA Jam out here. Crate ball masters.
Nah, bro, like I put that in there because they aired out fucking Al Bernstein for
I'll tell you what, man. Look, we good friends, right? But we ain't friends enough to the point that you send me shit like that through private chats. I'm just saying.
Yo, listen, can I tell y'all who seen that Island Boy shit?
Oh, that was some wild shit.
Yo, you know what I was going to do, Chris? Chris, you know what I was going to do? I was going to quote tweet it and be like, the Charlos be like...
Yo, I don't want to be out like that, bro. No, that's not me. They violated Al Bernstein. They violated Al Bernstein. Like, why they do my boy like that? That's
what they did to Al Bernstein. What they did?
Braz has tweeted on his...
The Al Bernstein. Al Bernstein liked a very tasteful video of a lady at work at her business.
They violated. For no
so what? They gonna roast Al because he trying to get down? Like he trying to get some pussy?
Now look at the tweet I put in. You'll see.
Hold on. Tag me, bro. Tag me. Let me go look at it right now. Tag me.
No, it's in the private chat already, so that's why I put it.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Hold up.
Why they violate my mans?
Ain't nothing wrong with that. He just trying to get down. He just trying to get us some cooler. Al ain't no different than the rest of us. He just trying to get laid.
No, the world of Adam 22.
Wild, bro.
Well, it ain't two girls in one cup, is it? Like,
whoa, okay.
Y'all talking about Al Heyman? Al?
You talking about Al Bernstein from Showtime?
Oh shit!
Okay. Somebody must have hacked his account, man.
I'm trying to see.
You can look at what someone likes.
Yeah,
you can't show it.
I can't show that, bro. I can't show that.
No, you can't.
Nah, but it's so like.
Nah, bro.
You better not show that.
Don't do that.
Yo, that's crazy, bro. But I'm saying, like, Al just want to get down. He just trying to get in some cooler too. Like, shit, I ain't gonna hold him.
He's on the other side of 50, man. Leave him alone.
Yeah, like he getting blue chew and all that bullshit. You know what I mean? Trying to get down out here, big. Shout out to Mr. Boxing. What's up with the rainbow behavior? These lady face-offs. I don't know what you mean, bro. Elaborate. I don't know what you mean.
I'll retweet it at you. I know what he's talking about.
Oh, he talking about them two girls that made out at that other shit?
I think so.
That's just, bro, that's just, you know what that shit is? That's just birds being on some bird shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I'll tell you what happened. You see, the problem was, right, I was so disappointed in their behavior because I wasn't there in person. I was devastated, man. Absolutely devastated.
But after sleep, I Fuck you.
You know what I'm saying? That's just birds being birds and all of that. That's whatever. But yo,
I was just mad that I wasn't invited. Like, come on now, ladies.
You know, they added Nonito to the undercard for Spence and Crawford. That's a good addition.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yes, definitely.
The card doesn't suck anymore.
No, but I'm still surprised. Like, he's still not. I would have put him as the co-main. That would have been more hype than Isaac Cruz versus a no-name.
I would say that, but you know what the shit with Isaac is? They really trying to build him, so they're making a conscious. Don't you notice that most of the shows that he been pay-per-views towards the main event? Like, they really want him to, like, they want to turn him into something, but it's like, fam, you putting him in these fights, don't nobody give a fuck about. So it ain't gonna work. Like, until he fucking somebody.
He actually did have a buzz with the Mexican people when he had that close fight with Gervonta, but it's died off because they put him against nobodies. It's died off. Bro.
And the shit, that was more than a year ago. También that he fought Gervonta. Like, that was over a year ago. Yeah, like,
I'm gonna come to the defense of Usyk Cruz here. How dare you all think that he is not a bigger star than Nonito Donaire?
Oh,
Isaac
you know what?
Cruz,
You just
the
stop
world's
that
greatest
right now.
loser. The world's greatest loser.
You know what's funny?
He took
This is what
Davis
people
so close.
think about the Mexican. You know what's funny? This is what people think about the Mexican fan base. That just because you're Mexican, they're gonna come out and support you. That
is
not
what
the
they
case.
think. That is what they think. They think that shit is
Oh,
just like, all you gotta do is be a Mexican fighter. And it's like, you don't see Zerto, he Mexican, but he never popped. There's been a lot of Mexican fighters that never popped. Now, I feel that Isaac had the potential to, because he did give a good account of himself with Gervonta, but you pissed the time away. If you would have followed that up with some really good wins, yo, you probably would have been on some shit right now. But you didn't fight nobody.
And he never
If he would have beat Garcia, bro.
También, if he would have beat Ryan Garcia, ellos le ofrecieron la pelea. They offered him the fight. And he acting, well, really Sean Gibbons acting stupid, like, oh, we gotta be like, see, all right, bro, like, Gervonta could be the A side to Ryan, right? He could, well, at least he could play them games. You not in a position to play them games because Gervonta beat you, bro. Are you fucking nuts, bro? You the A side because Gervonta beat you?
And let me tell you something. Isaac Cruz would have got knocked out cold by fucking Ryan. I believe that shit.
Maybe.
I think a guy with no jab who walks to people. I think Ryan would set
he mad
up
little though.
Nah, he doesn't.
He mad little.
And that left hook could catch him coming in.
Te lo voy a decir. El lío con Ryan is, I do think he's stronger than Isaac, and I also think if he catches him, he could hurt him. The problem is Ryan would give up his height to try to get off them hooks. His chin would be way out there. And this little motherfucker, Isaac, all he got to do is bob and weave, come over the top, mang, overhand. I could
that'd be a tough
see him knocking out Ryan, man.
Yeah,
like I could see that.
Yeah.
But you know they'll put him in a safe fight also because they're gonna try to build him up again. They'll put him on big cards, but they'll try to build him up so they can have Tank go out there and fight him again and try to get more views.
That's exactly what they're gonna do. That's exactly because it's the cheapest alternative. Like if you think about the fights that people want Tank in, the real issue that nobody says is that they don't want to bear the financial brunt of paying these fighters because these fighters, they make more money than Rolly. You know, Shakur, he gets about $3 million a fight. Devin gets around $3 million a fight, maybe more. And if you supposed to be all this extra shit, if I get $3 million without you, the expectation is that I'm gonna get more than that with you. And Davis don't want to bear the brunt of that because the truth is, Brody, you really only good for 200,000. You know, that's what you really good for. You can't act like that Ryan Garcia shit was some all the time shit. That was once. You've been on pay-per-view 6 times. You only did numbers like that once. So if you end up having to fight one of these other guys, can you bear the financial burden?
It's gonna go right back to it.
It's gonna go right back. Like I would say, like, and I'm not trying to be negative, but the truth is that, yo, it's people stealing shit. So if you do Davis versus Haney, right, what's it going to do at the box office? That's a real question because it ain't going to do $1 million. Like, nah, that shit is not doing $1 million because he's not as popular as Rye Guy. You know, he's a better boxer. He's a better boxer than him by and large, but he's not as popular. So what's a real number for that fight?
Well, here's the thing, right? Even if you stick Isaac on these undercards, him fighting the long lost ghost of Euriscus Gamboa isn't going to do anything for him. In addition to that, whoever he's fighting right now, who most people can't even like say his name, I just know he's Giuseppe. Like that's it.
Yeah, Giovanni.
Yeah, Giovanni. Sorry,
Some
Giovanni
fucking.
Pepperoni.
No, but the silver lining with an Isaac is, remember, you ain't gotta throw that dude but $500,000 to get him in the ring. $1 million, the most, right? Like he'll probably, like, for the first fight, I think the guarantee to him was like $500,000. The second fight, they'll probably want $1 million. You could do that with Isaac. You can't pay Devin the way you pay Isaac. Like, nah, fam, he been getting money without you.
You have to look at it this way too. Like the few Showtime pay-per-views that I've bought in the last couple of years, they'll usually have a decent like headliner, or even if it's not like the last one, like the Tank versus. I had a bunch of people come over to my house, so I watched the Tank fight and I watched the Garcia because it's everybody wanted. But if you watch that undercard, it was forgettable. If they put a decent headline name on, almost everybody on the undercard is somebody you don't even know of. Almost like what's happening with this Crawford fight now. This is like it's what they regularly tend to do. They put one big name on there and then trash in the undercard because they're trying to save money. There's no other way around it.
Yeah, there's no money. There's no money to really deck out an undercard most of the time. You know, most of the money's going into the main event fighters, and that's why you get, you know, undercards that are not that great. But with Isaac, it's like, yo, y'all had a legitimate chance. They did, to turn him into something, but over a year has passed and you haven't had a significant fight, a significant win in over a year. So to me, you back at square one. Like, all right, well, you about to fight Giovanni Cabrera, so what?
Pepperoni.
Who is that guy? Pepperoni. I don't know that guy.
Isaac's been, you know, got his little side gig. He's renting himself out to the, you know, midget tossing events so he can make his little extra money.
For real.
But then even the big fights that like have marquee value to them, they still don't put good undercards. I've been noticing that for almost every fight. Even if it's a good fight that's worth pay-per-view, the undercard is still ass.
That's a byproduct of the times that we in, that when, you know, the 80s and the 90s, they could put all type of fly shit on an undercard because the money was great.
Yeah. They used to have great undercards back then.
You used to have, like, you can't even believe, you know what I mean? But now, a lot of those pay-per-views are survival pay-per-views. Like, for example, Benavidez versus Plant. Oh, that's a survival pay-per-view. What that is that you want this amount of money and he wants this amount of money. The network not just going to give you that. So they put you on pay-per-view, hoping it'll come from that, you know? That's a survival pay-per-view. And really, a lot of them shits is survival pay-per-views. Like, oh, well, you want this, and he wants that, and the network not going to burn that money to satisfy your ego. So they're like, look, we'll give you this, and you could get a little more, you know, from the pay-per-view if people buy it, you know? Survival pay-per-views.
Jules, you remember back in the day when the cards were, like, all the way good, like almost every match on the card was good.
Listen, I mean, ordinary fights like Mickey Ward versus Emmanuel Augustus were barn burners. Ordinary fights. That's not a big budget fight. I talk about it all the time. Burt Cooper versus Mora. Motherfucking Mercer versus Demiani. Your average fight back in the day, motherfuckers was fighting like they was fighting over a parking spot. Like it was road rage. Like, is this still boxing? Like, y'all motherfuckers look mad.
One thing I will compliment Top Rank for doing though is because they've invested so much money in a lot of up and coming fighters. Even if those guys are not fighting really great names, at least you're getting what you can perceive to be marquee names in the future. So even if they have a good headliner, a good co-main, they're going to put a bunch of guys on there who have an opportunity that you'll say, hey, I remember watching that guy fight. He's a world champion now, a la Abdullah Mason.
Yeah. I mean, they got some good young gunners coming through, which is their speciality right now. They got some real good young gunners coming through, but just the strength of cards overall. Like, I know people gonna call me a Matchroom show, right? I know they're gonna do that, but usually Matchroom will have a okay undercard, not the great, but it'll be at least 2 fights on there that I'm interested in. Like, look at the AJ shit now. You got Dempsey McKean, Felipe Hergovic. That's a good fucking fight, bro. That's a good fight.
That's
gonna be a banger.
That's gonna be it, cause Dempsey McKean, if y'all ain't seen him, watch him. He big like Hrgovic, but his punch is a little snappier. He's a southpaw. He move a little bit more. He don't seem as a robotic as Hrgovic. That's a good fight right there. And,
Wait, is that an
Boogeyman.
undercard, or is that going to be?
That's gonna be on the undercard of Joshua versus White.
Nice.
That's a really good fight.
It's a good fight. Now look, I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. I'll be right back.
Hey, good luck with your lung cancer, buddy.
But I to get back on that question though of what happened to the undercards, not to get all economical on people, but a lot of that has to do with inflation. A $50,000 paycheck back in the day used to be life-changing money. Now it's like, what even is this? I could get this. I could get this from doing pizza.
If you do 50K, after you have to pay everybody, you pay taxes, you got to pay your trainer, your agent, everybody else, man. That's more like a $15,000 paycheck.
Exactly. So, part of it is just things that are outside of boxing's control. But then again, the sport hasn't exactly ingratiated itself to making it popular.
Well, and that's the thing too, is unfortunately boxing isn't nearly as popular as it once was. So there's not as much money. There's not as big enough pie to cut up anymore. So you're not going to be able to get those huge fights. And that's one reason why I like watching Top Rank, is because even though these guys are not big names now, at least you have the opportunity to see guys who get signed that are former medalists, or guys who come up through the amateurs who are well known. So you get a car that have 5 or 6 guys on it that you can think or have the possibility of having a future. So it's almost like watching like the minor leagues in baseball. So that it makes it enjoyable for that, because even if the card isn't great, even if the headliner's not an A+, you get a good solid card throughout.
I would also say this: an issue with the market in the past was just, this was an issue of Matchroom and PBC. They would overpay. That last generation of fighters were all overpaid for nothing. Leo Santa Cruz is my favorite example. He got paid millions to not fight.
I hate Leo Santa Cruz.
He got paid millions to not fight. Just put that into perspective.
God, what a wasted career. Like, you hit the nail on the head with that. Guys got paid millions to not fight. Like, guys are getting overpaid to not do shit.
It's not that he wasted his career. It's that Al got to him. Because prior to that, he was doing good. He was fighting. He had a belt. Everything was going good. And at a certain point, Al got to him, and it was game over, man. He was just like on the payroll after that.
Game over, man.
He didn't fight Gary Russell Jr., though. That was a fight that was the Gary Russell Jr. fight. That was a fight that, Gary was.
He didn't want no part of Gary Russell Jr. You and I both know that.
But that's corny, though. That's why I was so happy when Tank slumped him, because, like, yo, you're a good kid. I don't really wish bad for you, but you had a chance to fight a guy who was actually wanted to smoke and was your equal, and you wanted to fight Abner Mares and people who weren't on that man's level at that time, and you got millions of dollars for it, while Gary got pennies, basically.
Yeah, but then Gary, here's the issue. But then Gary also took a route similar to Leo in the future, where he would sit out years, or one fight every couple of years. So I can't feel bad for Gary,
and he still had his belt.
He would only fight whenever he had to do his mandatory. He literally, like, they made fun of it sometimes, because he would only fight when he had a mandatory. Besides that, he was sitting out.
Yeah, they were on the Al Heyman fight plan. You know,
Yep.
I mean,
the Al Heyman
Gary's nickname is Santa Claus because he only came around once a year. But
you're legitimately correct, though.
The Leo Santa Cruz Tank fight was a heel program. I cheered that fight because, like, someone I hate's getting hurt. Like, good.
But ultimately, the thing with Leo is,
when Tank landed that uppercut, I really thought Leo died. I said, "Oh shit, this is bad."
You got to think of it from his vantage point. At that point, he was already a 4-division champion, and they're like, you can fight this tomato can for $2 million, or you can fight a real fight for $2 million. He's always going to take the least. I'm not saying it's right for us as fans. I'm just saying from his vantage point, why not take the leg touch for the same money?
I suppose, but
why did Al?
I didn't say it's right.
Yeah, why
I didn't say it was right.
Leo so much though.
That's a good question.
Why did he name his son Al Heyman? Right? Didn't Leo Santa Cruz name his kid Al Heyman?
I was fucking him allegedly.
Well, I mean, Al Heyman was his daddy, so might as well name him after his son.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of these guys could have had a better career if the PBC didn't have him so inactive. Like Jermall Charlo, he was actually gaining some momentum, and then it just died off at 160.
They were better under Golden Boy than Al Heyman. Because you gotta remember,
a lot of the PBC stuff came from Floyd Mayweather, because towards the end of his career, like Keith Thurman was his mandatory, and I don't want to speak too common about Keith Thurman because who likes Keith, but
at one point in time, Keith Thurman was fighting all comers and fighting the people in his generation, and he has some good wins.
Once upon a time, one time was the truth. Now he's a joke.
Let's not do that, because at the end of the day, he put Earl Spence in his path, and all Keith wanted was a title shot against Mayweather, and Mayweather, for some weird reason, didn't want to fight Keith Thurman.
The weird reason was he would have lost. The weird reason is he would have lost because Keith Thurman was everything Floyd Mayweather avoided in fighters. Taller, longer, hits really hard, and fights like a taller, longer fighter. Doesn't give up his height. So, but he wanted to fight Andre Berto instead. So
look at it from this perspective. Look at it from there. I done seen Floyd Mayweather fight a dude who's like 6'1", step to his shit like it was no problem. I know this was when he was young, but Floyd has fought all types of fighters, man. I think that would have been another routine defense for him. Cause think about it.
Nah.
If he went up and outclassed Canelo, who's better than Keith Thurman in every department. No, not every department, but better than Keith Thurman overall. What makes you think Floyd couldn't do that same thing to Keith Thurman?
Because Keith Thurman was fighting at his natural weight. Keith Thurman was younger. Keith Thurman was younger than Floyd at the time. Well, so was Canelo. But Keith Thurman was
Canelo was knocking people out and looking better than Keith Thurman in some of his fights.
So was Maidana. Maidana was younger than Floyd too, and bigger.
Wasn't Maidana smaller than Mayweather? Like significantly so?
No, he came in weighing like 20 pounds heavier than Mayweather both fights.
I need to go back.
And Mayweather the second fight. What did Mayweather do the second fight to Maidana?
He outclassed him. He outclassed him. Lost that first fight though.
Well, you know what? I watched a video about that, and they were saying that in the first fight, Floyd had his shoulder was injured, and when he came back and fought him in the second fight, you could see the difference between the first fight and the second fight, and it leads me to believe that there's a possibility that Floyd was injured in that first fight.
I think that was Castano, not Mayorga, but either way.
You mean Castillo? You mean Jose Luis Castillo?
No, was that Castillo? Maybe I got that mixed up. Maybe you're right. I got that mixed up. It was Castillo. That's right. Sorry, my bad.
Maidana,
I think it was also. Yeah, I don't think it had. Kenny Bayless had a lot to do in that second fight with Maidana, bro. Because anytime Maidana would get some momentum and get him in the ropes, Kenny Bayless would break it off immediately. Even if Maidana wasn't smothering him, he would just break it off.
Floyd was a lot of money to Vegas, and Vegas wasn't going to fuck that up. So people got to understand, if you were going to fight Floyd at that time, you were handicapped.
Yeah, that is true.
At that time, Floyd chose people. You didn't get to fight Floyd off of your merits. And that's what people got to understand.
He handicapped Ricky Hatton. And Ricky Hatton was almost, at the time, almost as big a star as he was. So what chance did Maidana have?
Bingo. Thank you.
Well, we all knew Maidana was not going to beat Floyd. I mean, come on.
I
don't think he beat him. Not even in the first fight. I think Mayweather in the first fight.
I say this: the people not going to beat Floyd Mayweather throughout his career were the 154s that should have been at 160, and Joel Casamayor, Nick
You
Campbell,
leave Paul Williams out of this.
Like Paul Williams, What about
Paul
Margarito?
Williams, I'm bucking. You're right. Paul Williams. But guys like that, could have beat Floyd Mayweather, but everybody else, I just don't see him beating Floyd Mayweather, man.
Look, all I know is that Keith Thurman was his mandatory, and he chose Andre Berto instead. So clearly, he saw something in Keith he didn't like.
I remember that, and that was a duck, and nobody's ever going to say anything because there's too many Floyd Mayweather dick riders. I understand that, but I don't like how people say try to shit on Keith Thurman for not fighting Errol Spence when Errol Spence wasn't his mandatory and Errol Spence was in his infancy stages of his career. And no one ever wants to say, "Hey, Flo, what you did was some foul ass shit there." This shit was a young man who came up the ranks.
Nah, you cannot treat those situations the same way. There's no way you could do that because when Thurman was calling out Floyd, right? Nobody even knew who fucking Thurman was, my guy. The Maidana fight, I always go back to this, that if he wouldn't have gave Maidana that rematch, remember, the only reason Thurman came into it is because he won a BA from Maidana, right? And Thurman was in line by way of the BA, even though they never ordered the fight. And the shit is, we all remember the first Maidana fight was close. Some people was running around saying, yeah, Maidana won, Floyd got a gift, yada, 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 bunch of shit. If he wouldn't have had that rematch with Maidana, and he would have fought Keith, then they would have said, oh, well, he running from Maidana. He should have ran it back with him. Who's Keith Thurman? Who did he beat? Soto Caras, Diego Chavez. Who are they?
I feel you. Like, Floyd had no wins.
I like Soto Caras. Shut up.
Ross, I think was his name.
I know Floyd had no wins at that point. I understand that. But
you can't compare, and the other shit is Keith shitted on Errol. That's instant. When I see Keith and Errol, that's instant karma. Cause I remember he shitted on. Let me tell you something about the truth. I remember all them interviews. It's like, yo, karma really don't like you, bro. Cause like that shit came all the way around on you, bro.
He got injured. He couldn't fight. You know.
Hold on. Weren't they supposed to talk about having that fight in August, Ugas versus Thurman? Did they even mention that at all?
We're talking about that because that's probably going to be for the WBC interim to line up the winner to become WBC champion. Because we all know whoever win, they ain't staying at fucking 47.
But when do they announce that fight? When do they announce that fight though? With Ugas?
I mean, that's the shit. That's the shit. I don't know. Like the clock is ticking, man. Like August is right around the corner. It's really only what 2-3 weeks left of July. So if they're going to do it in August, they're probably towards the end, you know, like the 29th, around there, some shit.
Thurman's waiting for his hair to grow back, like Samson's the source of his powers.
He need to call George Groves. George got them plugs in. Keith, you don't act like you too good.
Well, you know what Keith could? He could do the Mayweather approach: get some hair from his testicles, put it on his head, boom.
Yeah, get some hair from his ass and put it on his head. He could do that. That's resilient hair, bro.
It comes with its own fragrance too. So
for real.
Naturally curly. It's the works.
You know what I'm saying? It's resistant. Like it goes through all type of shit. And it's
literally
through all type of shit. And it keep growing.
Yeah, but did I see Floyd Mayweather hair, bro? Like that shit. Come on, Floyd. What the hell?
That shit looks so weird, bro. That shit looks so weird on Floyd. And the beard is like the whole thing. It looked weird. Like yo, dog. Like just rock your baldy, my guy. Like I don't understand what you trying to do. You trying to look young? Like I don't understand. Like
didn't LeBron do the same
Charles
thing?
Barkley, come on home. Just come on.
LeBron did the same thing.
Say it again.
I said LeBron did the same thing. One day he has hair, the next he doesn't.
Yeah, but LeBron shit be falling apart in real time, bro. Like them patchy spots and holes and shit, holes in the galaxy.
Kevin Durant shit.
Yeah, it looks awful. Awful.
But what is that shit? Because that's not hair plugs if the shit is falling right out in front of everybody. What is that shit?
You know what it could be? That shit was bad hair. The nigga need to cut this shit and just leave it alone. Like, bro, it's over. It's over. Some of this shit be looking like, look at Kevin Durant's head. Like, you really came out the crib like that? Like, yo, my mom used to shit on me sometimes for coming out the crib looking crazy. Then I look at Kevin Durant and it's like, yo, mom, if you would have Kevin Durant as a son, you probably wouldn't say shit because he would be.
But none of that is worse than vintage Holyfield. See, some guys is too young for that. Vintage Holyfield that had hair at
He had a-
heavyweight.
He had the horseshoe. He had like a horseshoe hair.
Yeah.
And then he ended up losing his hair and turned into the bionic melon, man. I mean, he just.
It was him and Ernie Shavers. That Ernie shit, before he shaved it all off, Ernie shit was crazy, bro.
But don't run up and say nothing to Ernie. Ernie dog was sleepy as shit. Ernie hit you once.
But why you think he could get away with that? Like, if he wasn't with that same haircut, like, yeah, only Ernie Shavers could rock that shit, because he didn't have a hairline. He just had hair in the back.
Yeah.
It was like a samurai helmet or some shit. It's like, nah.
That's why Derek Quarry was able to beat him. That's why Derek
Like a
Quarry was
headband
able
that
to
just
beat
kept
him.
riding up higher and higher on the head.
It was weird in the 80s because you had guys like, for example, I remember Cheers. You have Fraser Crane, and that's who Keith Thurman really looked like. He looked like Fraser Crane. That all of this is gone, homie. All you got is shit just growing out the back like another brain.
Well, the hairline starts like 3/4 back, and that's where they start combing it 3/4 back of the head.
Look like a Klingon.
Yo, he really looked like a Klingon. Like, and if you remember Cheers with Ted Danson and Shelley Long and them, you have Fraser, the psychiatrist. His whole shit was forehead. His whole shit. Like, bro, why is that shit? why are you growing that shit, and why is it long in the back? Like, what are you doing?
Phil Collins is the same thing.
He did.
I can
Phil Collins could rock it nice. He didn't look that
went
bad.
into the barbershop. Man went into the barbershop and said, "Shine, please."
Nah, I mean, like, it wasn't until he got his own show that he started getting like a trim that he still was bald. Obviously, he was still bald, but he would trim the shit to the side and the back. Cause it's like, yo, that shit look crazy that all of this is sunshine. All of this is straight sunshine bouncing off. And then you got mad hair in the back. Like what are you doing, bro?
I can explain. So you see, he went to the barbershop and said, "Let me get a convertible. I can just."
Nah, I mean, shit. Like I used to watch Frasier too. I like Frasier.
They call it the skullet. It's called the skullet.
Yeah, skullet. Yeah.
Bro, that shit. He did it. That shit was crazy. I don't know how, but yo, motherfuckers was getting pussy with that shit and all that. Like, motherfucker really getting pussy in the 80s with that. Like, y'all crazy. Like,
well, hang on a second. It's not like the bitch's hairstyle was any better.
Oh my god.
Nah, the worst shit, it wasn't even really bad. It was just that they had the big hair. It was teased, you know what I mean? Like, to get volume in and shit. Like, everybody got the Pat Benatar and all of that.
And they got the shoulder pads. Remember how the shoulder pads in every shirt? That was the worst.
Big old
hey. They didn't have love handles, so you needed to hold on to something. That's all it was.
Yo, they really had that too. Like, if you watch any 80s show, like, remember Murphy Brown was really a 80s, 90s show.
Yeah.
But Murphy had fucking shoulder pads, bro. Like, and all big old V on the side. Like, yo, what you trying to look like? Optimus I'm like, bitch, you got these big ass shoulders.
Predator.
Oh, yeah.
Predator.
She's trying to be a transformer, man.
For real? What the fuck you got in them shoulder pads? You got cocaine in there? Cigarettes? The fuck? 80s styles was crazy, man.
You gotta understand, man. They're trying to look like the protagonist of a D&D campaign. Leave them alone.
Man, shit is crazy, man. But what else is going on? We got this. We got Fury and Ngannou, and I just feel like I've said all that I can say.
This is a boxing-related platform, right?
You know, yeah.
That's not boxing, so let's not talk about it. Fuck it.
Oh, no, but I'm just going to say this because I feel that it needs to be said because no one else is saying it. I don't see anyone else saying it. That if you think that he going to go out there with this guy and make all this money, right, not taking no risks, to come back to boxing and take risks, you bugging. He not. It's a wrap.
Like, who Tyson Fury is, bro. We should not be giving him any fucking coverage. If he doesn't fight Alexander Usyk, he's nobody that we need to be listening to or watching.
I say that. Look,
mandatories. Like,
yo, whoever is with the echo, fix that shit. What I'm saying that. Remember what I said about Tommy Fury, Chris? That he's not gonna go fight Jake Paul for all that bread. And then what? Go back to York Hall and fight Journeyman for a couple hundred? Hell no, bro. He gonna stay in that lane as long as he can. And look, that's what he doing. He worried about KSI and all this shit. That dude is not gonna be no nothing in boxing. Like I said that about him. And if you look at his brother, it's the same shit. What you think? He gonna get 8 figures with a guy that don't box so that he could come back and gamble and had to work for his money? Hell no, like it's a wrap for all of that.
This is how overrated Tyson Fury is. For how limited Deontay Wilder is, you went life and death with him. You can say whatever you want about Anthony Joshua. Joshua technically is a lot better, and if Joshua has you hurt, Joshua's going to get you the fuck up out of there. So he knows that if Anthony Joshua, if he can get his confidence back to where he needs to be, he's not going to fight him. I never thought he was going to fight him. You remember the Steve Bunce interview when Joshua was like, I think amateur, right?
Mhm.
And he really put the beats on Fury. Fury remembers it. Fury can say whatever he wants. But like, I'm telling you this, Fury is just going to be picking and biding his time. So that's the worst thing that Deontay Wilder could have done is fought him, because we all knew that you're not as skillful as this dude. And sure, this cokehead came off the fucking couch, but he's better than you in such a way that, hey, he can make it look fucking interesting. And that's the worst thing Deontay Wilder ever did. And Deontay Wilder should be kicking himself, and we should be making fun of him for the rest of his career, because he's one of the big reasons why this shit is happening. Like, how on fucking earth is this motherfucker not trying to tie up all the belts? And we got Talk Sport every fucking week talking bullshit about Anthony Joshua. Like, I'm listening to Beat say, oh, Anthony Joshua was going to fight Ngannou first. And he said, this is a gimmick fight. I'm not fighting him. And we got to deal with this shit. Like, this shit is corny, bro. It's corny. It's fucking annoying at this point, huh?
As the lone Tyson Fury fan on the panel, I will say this. My only hope is that Jules is wrong, and he makes enough money that he feels the need to take the risk. It's my far out and away, head in the sky, fantasy, unicorns are real hope. That's
Listen,
all I got.
the dude is in his mid-30s. The dude is in his mid-30s. I said it in the last video that I did. This dude is in his mid-30s, and the conversation for this year is literally the same one that we had last year, and it was, out of all the people in the heavyweight landscape, you're trying to convince us that you couldn't find nobody but Derek Chisora to keep busy with. That's what you're trying to convince us. Now, it's the same thing.
You couldn't keep busy with the European heavyweight champion of Europe? You couldn't keep busy with that?
Caballero, it's Dempsey McKean, Simon Keane, Martin Bacoli. If y'all really wanted to, y'all could have got Joe Joyce to chill out. Like, yo, Joe, chill. We trying to fight Zhang, bro. Chill out. Stand down. We need that body. You know what I mean? It's mad people out there. You try and convince people that it was this guy or nothing, that if you don't fight Ngannou, well, then you just not going to fight this year. It's a psyop, and it's bullshit. And all I'm telling you is, the way these guys are, the money that he going to make from that, plus the Netflix reality show shit that he got with his family, I'm telling you, this dude is not going, he's done in competitive boxing. Like, yeah, what were you expecting him to do? Get out there, fight Hergovics and shit?
Yeah, he was already talking about retiring too, so I don't know if he's going to stick around.
Vacate the belt and say, yo, I'm the best heavyweight of this era. Nobody beat me. Yada, yada, yada.
That's what he going. He waiting for Usyk to get beat by somebody, not him, so that he could turn around and say, see, I was in that era, but nobody beat me. He's a sucker like that. Like that's why I'm calling it now. Bro. I'm calling it now that, like, yo, as far as I'm concerned, the way I see it, you think a man gonna get out there and make 8 figures in the easiest fight that he could be in, so he could have to come back and work? Nah, wouldn't nobody do that. Him least of all. Some people have their pride. You got to understand that any fighter with a name or a belt, they could sell out. Like, fuck it, I want to fight KSI. Mayris Breeders tried it, I want Jake Paul or whatever. He tried it. What stopped people is their pride and their competitive spirit. He don't have none of that. He don't have no pride. Like, you can't, like, bro, that dude walk around asking men about the size of their dick. You think he got pride? That dude don't got no pride. And now this
Why you gotta bring that up, bro?
because to me that's the ultimate, like, fam, be real. If you ever do that, that mean that you got the peen tooth forever. Because why would you do that? If you cool and you packing and you out here and you slinging and they slurping, why the fuck would you be out here talking about somebody else? Like, that shit don't even make sense. Yeah, I'm like,
I will say this though.
He's crazy, man. He's just crazy.
If Usyk doesn't lose to anybody, bro, he's gonna have to wear that, bro. Think about it like this.
My dude, Jamal has not fought in 2 years in the WBC.
Tyson Fury.
Listen,
Tyson Fury's been fighting, bro.
Listen, if they let a guy keep that belt for 2 years and not fight, you don't think they would do the same or more for Fury?
Look, they already gave him an exemption because the number 1, number 2 guys were busy talking on social media.
I'm telling you that I think that dude is. I think he's finished, and I think what the players, what the strategy is, they just want Usyk to get beat, and then if he were to get beat, they'll get to talking shit like, "See, he got beat. He got beat. I'm the man. I'm the yeah." Like that's what they want because they figure the heavyweight division is a cruel mistress. Like shit happens, you know. It happened. Ali, Leon Spinks, Tyson Buster Douglas, Joshua Ruiz. They're relying on that principle. I believe that, look, man, Usyk gonna get beat by somebody because he can only take so much. He's only human. By the time he get beat, we still gonna have RO doing our thing, and we can still say we the best of the era because we never got beat. That's the play. The same kind of principle. Listen, remember, he dubbed David Price, but people forgot about it because David started getting beat. But in the past, you were supposed to fight David when he was the dude that was supposed to bear the flag for the UK, and he was the highly touted guy and the hard puncher. You fucking ducked him.
And he beat him in the amateurs.
Bang. But now it don't matter in the pros because David started getting his fucking ass kicked.
Yep.
So now it don't matter that you ducked him. But I'm still back like, nah, you ducked David Price, bro. You didn't want to know what
you went life and death with John fucking McDermott, bro.
You know what I'm saying? You didn't want to know what Ustinov. You didn't want to know with Pulev.
No rematch with Vlad.
No rematch with Vlad. Didn't want to know with Price. And it's the same shit. That's why I'm like, yo, when he come over here, he do the Jenny Jones makeover that he's this mental. I'm like, yo, y'all motherfuckers. Look, man, I'm not trying to offend nobody in America. All right, I was born here. I'm American. But quiet as kept, American people are the stupidest people on earth. On earth.
Stupidest, bro. Like, it's so bad to the point, like, yo, you get embarrassed. Like, yo, do I really live in the
you know what the American populace is going to bite. You know when they're going to bite, and they cannot let go of this idea that he's some type of shit, even though he's showing you that he ain't shit. Why do you think he's a generational great? You got to be out of your fucking mind. Seriously. You think he's a generational great?
You know what's funny? They try to compare the two weakest heavyweights to Ali. Remember, fucking Deontay Wilder, when he had his 10 title defenses, they try to compare him to Ali. Pure bullshit.
The motherfuckers was really going for that. They was really like you. So you really look, man. Look, man. Let me tell you something, man. It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to the memory of Joe Louis. It's disrespectful to the memory of Ali. To careers like motherfucking Larry Holmes and George Foreman, and yes, to Mike Tyson. Because Wilder, I was there. You fucking son of a bitch. I was there. Wilder was never no Mike Tyson. Mike was a fucking force of nature. Of nature. That motherfucker was like the fifth element of some shit. Wilder was never that. You fucking crazy.
Mike Tyson to this day, bro. Like,
I have never beat Mike Tyson's punch out to this day. I haven't beat the game.
Bro, this motherfucker fucked up Undisputed 3 times, bro. Wilder fucked up Undisputed 3 times, bro. Klitschko, and then with Anthony Joshua, and then when he got in the way of Fury and Anthony Joshua. He didn't even have the belt, and he still fucked up Undisputed.
Trying to tell you that, like the American populace has, like, they get very insecure when they see that things are going a certain way. And y'all motherfuckers went as far as trying to compare Bambi to these fucking legends. That's crazy. Like, nah, son. Wilder is not in the same conversation as George Foreman. Don't fucking tell me he is not in the same conversation as George Foreman. There is no way.
Let me tell you something. Wilder's not better than the some of the contenders in the 70s, 80s, or 90s. Some of those contenders in the 70s, 80s, or 90s were unfortunately born in a time where the champion was a bad motherfucker. I'm telling you.
Wilder isn't better than Ernie Chambers. Ernie Chambers is better than Wilder.
Well, I'm trying to tell you, and I stand by this. If you took Ray Mercer out of the Tommy Morrison fight, put him in a boom tube in a Einstein-Rosen-Bridge, and you put him in there with Wilder, he'll do Wilder worse than he did Tommy, bro. You are fucking crazy, bro.
Imagine Ron Lyle versus Deontay Wilder. The fucking carnage.
Yo, I think Tony Tucker would beat Wilder. I'm not with
school Wilder.
Going off that, bro.
Dude, I had Eddie Chambers beating Wilder. I had Eddie Chambers beating Wilder back in the day.
Do you know who also beat Wilder? Jerry Cooney could beat Deontay Wilder.
Like, it's serious shit that if you look at the fighters of that era, and it's not, don't just listen to us talking shit. I'm telling you, go back and watch them 80s heavyweights, them 90s heavy. They fought like they was fighting over a parking spot. Like it was an episode of Road Rage or some type of shit. Like they fought different, bro. Wow, guy like that, you don't fit in there. You know what I mean? And we had this conversation all the time. We had this conversation all the time, Chris. That it's only probably less than a handful of fighters that I would feel confident of this era that I could drop them back there and they can hang. One is Crawford, another is Usyk, right? A lot of y'all other people, y'all fooled. You are crazy. You are fucking nuts, bro. Even Golovkin. Yo, look, respect, right? Respect. Never got knocked out. That's cool. I'm just saying, you and what that era of Roy and James. Yo, look, man, you all right, bro. Just do your thing, bro.
You don't beat Gerald Yo, you don't even beat Gerald McClellan, and you go life and death with fucking Nigel Benn. Let's keep it
because you gotta look at who was there for him, which is why look, it's not his fault that the division was what it was. Like, no, it's not his fault. He's still a very accomplished fighter, and I do think he's gonna get in the Hall of Fame. I actually do. But the thing is, you can't say, oh, you beat Martin Murray and Gabe Rosado and fucking Matthew Macklin, right? Right, Proxa, you fucking David Lemieux, right? And fucking who else? Who are Curtis Stevens, Danny, like, and I'm supposed to think, oh yeah, he would hang with James Toney. Nah, bro, are you crazy?
Well, somebody made the comment. Somebody made the comment that contenders would be better than Wilder. Even this time period, I think Povetkin as a contender would have been. Povetkin would have given Wilder
look. Povetkin that fought Klitschko. This is why, and that's just motherfuckers being haters. Because I got respect for them guys just because they fought. Yo, if you want to fight, we here. If you don't get me, you get Vitaly. You know what I mean? If you don't get the left, you get the right. The Povetkin that Vladimir fought, that dude would beat Wilder. Oh, yes.
Now, but Vlad did some big shit in that fight. Well, Vlad did some real wild big shit in that fight, bro. Vlad did some big ass shit in that fight, and I don't respect him for that.
I don't give a fuck. If they would have fought, Wilder gets beat, bro. Yes.
I know, but yo, back to what you were saying about Alexander Povetkin and Vladimir Klitschko. Vlad did some big shit that fight, bro. Some whole ass shit. Some real.
Oh wait, what you talking about? What you talking about? The Povetkin fight?
Yeah, Vladimir
he did hold it,
but
he was called for it.
Was some bullshit.
The wrestle boxing match.
Look, look. Vladimir Klitschko, he had shit. We all know that, but respect because he got in there. Feel me? Like what he did to Fury was grimy too. He put all that shit under the ring, thinking wasn't nobody gonna know. So Fury won't be able to really move like that because it's like squishy and shit.
He wanted to knock Fury the fuck out, bro. Like,
I dig it. I dig it. I'm just saying that, look, grimy is grimy. I'm not saying he wasn't, like, yeah, he's grimy. Like, he did some grimy shit, but he fought good people. He fought people that Wilder didn't fight. Like, I don't give a fuck. If you put that Povetkin that fucking did that shit to Mahmoud Char, get that Povetkin that fought Mahmoud Char. Put him in there with Wilder. Wilder don't make it to no belt.
Let me tell you something.
Now, hang on, though. But we have to keep
David Haye, bro.
Oh, David Haye
Wilder
kills him.
doesn't even beat David Haye, bro.
David Haye kills him. Yeah.
Oh, David Haye beats Sharon. But Povetkin did get caught with the steroids.
Luis Ortiz did get caught with a steroid in 2014, and he got caught with a masking. Let me finish my sentence. He got caught with a masking agent in 2017. Did that stop Wilder from fighting him?
Fury got
and
caught eating boar dick.
Vlad beat up.
Fury got caught eating boar dick, and that stopped.
Fury got see that's the shit that when Wilder fans say, oh, Povetkin got popped. Yes, so did Fury, Nandrolone. So did Ortiz. Nandrolone the first time, and a masking agent with a lot of consonants in it the second time. You was cool to do that because you was comfortable. Your people not dumb. Your people is not dumb. That dude's style is all wrong for you because you don't have the balance for him. He gonna come forward like a metronome, side to side. You're gonna be throwing your little bullshit jab. He gonna slip it, mop, slip it, mop, and you not gonna have nothing to say. That dude would have tore him apart. And I didn't realize it at the time because I wasn't really giving Povetkin a hard look. I was just like, oh, this is a good fight. I would like to see that. But I didn't think about it. They're like, yo, this is a sophisticated duck. Sophisticated duck. Yeah, I know that.
Remember,
the shit is weird, bro. Because the Meldonium shit is like, he fucked it up for himself. Quiet as kept. You did fuck it up for yourself.
But remember this though. You remember when he knocked out David Price and he got hurt by Price? Price is the same. Yo, that was funny as hell. Price is the same dimensions as Deontay Wilder and bigger. And once that motherfucker landed that right hook, left hook, and put Price to sleep, I said, yeah, I can see why Deontay Wilder did that one. None of that.
I tell you, didn't want no problems with that dude. LDBC's most wanted said, de lo mío, que lo que. Can we get Alexis Rocha versus Stanionis? In theory, we could, but I don't believe we will because Shelly Finkel is taking Stanionis. Shelly manages him, right? He was with Richard Schaefer for a while, and he was with Probellum, but nothing materialized. Now he's with Shelly.
This guy, Shelly's a piece of shit.
I'm telling, but Shelly's gonna take him back to the PBC. They already saying that his next fight is gonna be at the PBC. So to me, the unification match that he's gonna have is with Boots. Is with Boots.
Gonna beat him the fuck to death.
He's gonna beat the shit, and he gonna beat the shit, and Boots gonna beat the shit out of him. Drew says everyone's saying Fulton. Everyone's saying Fulton is daring to be great, but he is not the one moving up another weight class, and that is what's pissing me off. Yeah, I mean, like when people talk about Inoue, and I'm like, I've been watching Inoue since 2017. You don't have to believe shit I say right now. Those videos are up. He been on my pound for pound list when he was just a 2-division champion or a 3. I forget which one it is. 2, 3 divisions, whatever. It's a bad motherfucker. Respect to Fulton for making it happen. Don't get it twisted. Respect. But the one daring to be great is Inoue because he fighting the champion straight away. He's not easing. Yeah, he not easing into the division, fighting Joe Blow. He like, nah, I want the belts, bro. I need them now. So respect, yo. But you know that's just same old shit. M.A. Bustamante says, shout out the ringing panel. I remember Bo dumping the WBC in the trash to straight Duck Lewis. It's part of his legacy. This will be part of Fury's, and I agree. There's going to be people, he may retire an unbeaten fighter because he's a coward like that. He don't have pride. See, Roy, what got Roy beat and what hurt Roy legacy is that he's not a coward. He could have took that controversial win with Tarver in the first fight. He could have took that shit and ran. You didn't have to fight that man again. You didn't. But you respect yourself. No, you respect yourself. You got your pride. So you like, nah, I ain't no bitch. We could do it again. That's what got him beat. Whereas Fury, whereas Fury is a coward. Like, yo, you a coward, my guy. You scared. You have every physical advantage over Usyk. You have every advantage. You bigger, longer, taller, and you weigh more. And that's not enough. You don't feel safe.
And
that dude scares you, bro. He scares you.
70-30. Yeah, he took the 70-30 too.
Roy,
The 70-30.
You know what Roy is? Roy is nigga. So meaning is that he a country dude. And them country motherfuckers retarded. They're retarded. They'll fight you bare fist. Like, you know, they'll catch chickens. They'll wrestle with fucking hogs and shit. Like, them motherfuckers are crazy. So ultimately, yo, Roy don't care. It's just another fight to him. He know how good he is. He know what it is. So, like, as you can see, Roy can lose to a fucking, who's that guy? Anthony Pettis?
Mm-hmm.
He can lose to Anthony Pettis and it won't bother him because you know why? Roy know who he is and the world know who Roy is. But this is an unmistakable stain on his career because, yo, you have a chance to really put your name in the pantheon of great champions. And what are you doing? Fucking it over with a fight that you usually
tell you
have.
that dude is a coward, like, and that's not a word you want to often say, but you gotta call a spade. That what that is and what it's gonna play out like. Because look, there's no reason for people to be sitting here after all these months giving him the benefit of the doubt. You literally fought Derek. You literally fought Derek Chisora last year, my guy. That's bad enough. The following year, you literally made it worse. And y'all really think he gonna make all that money and then come back and work hard? Are you like, no, fam? It's a wrap. It's over. That's why I think they should strip him now, because it's like, y'all think he gonna be out here fighting mandatories and shit.
No,
like,
let me remind you something, Jules. He's been lineal champion since 2015, even though he's been retired. So that's like the fact that he is labeled historically as the fourth longest lineal heavyweight champ is ridiculous.
By a lot of fucking dick suckers and weirdos, because you have reached the point. If you fuck with Fury, you have reached the point where you're not a fan of boxing no more. Why?
Hey, I resent that. I have never sucked a dick in my life.
Well, look, there are exceptions. There are exceptions.
Hey, yo, what are we talking about?
What we talking about here? Listen, right? All right? Brittany Renner, right? Anyway, right? The airplane joint. That motherfucker is not real. Find that joint. What I'm saying
she's getting a little too skinny for me.
Listen,
I don't like that.
Yo, that airplane joint.
It's the crazy ones, man.
Pussy all wet. Anyway, listen, right? You can't support what he's doing because the reason that you watch him is to watch him prove that he's better than these other people. He's not doing that anymore. You got to understand that period is more than likely over. So if your thing was, oh, you like watching Fury box with the good boxers, even though he really didn't do it that much, if you really pay attention, didn't do it that much. But if that was the reason that, oh, you think he's that dude and you like to watch him fight, bro, in the last year, right, when this year is over, all he will have done in his last two fights is an MMA guy and a dude that he beat 2 times. And what is the expectation? That the next year he gonna come back and start taking risks again well into his mid-30s after he made all that money? Yo, that's a dream.
He wants to protect his own too. He wants to protect his own.
Exactly. Like, he'd rather retire undefeated so he could keep talking shit, because people do forget. Like I said, he been ducked David Price, but people don't talk about it. He got a gift with John McDermott, but people don't talk about it. He got Pop Fernandrolone, but people don't talk about it. His whole shit is waiting for people to forget that he's a piece of shit.
Here's why I think Tyson Fury acts the way he acts. He saw his father become a journeyman and get beat up badly by elite level fighters, and he saw how bad the boxing game has treated his father. Hey, it is what it is. His father signed them to fight those fighters and did what he had to do. But I bet you his father's probably been in his ear like, yo, I'm going to rear you this way, and I'm going to get you away from the pitfalls of this cruel game, because they will they will chew you up and spit you out. And I bear witness to it because I got knocked out by Henry Akinwande. I got used up by the elite level fucking contenders of my day and people who ended up becoming world champions because Akinwande won the WBO heavyweight championship. But like, people like that in your ear saying like, hey, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, you're gonna play this role, you're gonna suck up to the camera, you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that. Because I know if you fight these fighters head up, hey, you may have the skills to beat them, but you're gonna lose something. Because quiet as kept, you can't tell me John Fury throughout his career did not lose something. He lost something. And the only thing that he could probably impart to his son is, hey, this is where I messed up at, and this is what I want you to do so you don't have to.
Bro, you making that shit too legend. You making that shit, you doing a story arc. I think of things much more simply. When these clowns are sitting around talking to each other, all that shit they tell the media is scary talk when they around each other. What are you gonna go and do that for? You're gonna fight him. You're gonna fight him. He's probably gonna beat you. That's what they talking regular.
His father's a journeyman, so he's
so
an opponent.
So hold on, fam.
It doesn't matter.
All I'm saying is when they get away from the cameras and they talking real talk, they talk scared because fighters kept you scared. You move scared. Anybody could see it. You move scared. That all the shit you saying, all of that is bullshit. Bullshit. You couldn't find nobody to fight. My ass, Martin Bacoli is out here. How is it? And this is what I hate about boxing. That boxing, honest to God, has the dumbest fucking fans on this planet. You telling me you got time for Seferi, time for Francesco Pianetta, time for Tom Schwartz, time for Otto Verline. You even found time for another Derek Chisora fight. But you ain't got no time for Martin Bacoli. Gee, I wonder why. That'd be a great fight.
Derek
Be a great fight.
Or Zhang.
Of course, Derek is worth money, but that's the point. You the one that told everybody you don't care about money. You said that. It ain't like I said it for you. You the one running around. I don't care about money. I'm a Spartan. I'm gonna fuck my wife in the face. I'm not gonna fucking care about money. I'm happy. I've got a family. All that bullshit came from you. Now, the things that you lie about say a lot about who you are. You lying about not caring about money because you do care about money. You lying about this legacy, I'm the greatest shit, because you know you're not the greatest. You're not.
You're talking about people's dicks because man. Deep down.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you 6'8". You 6 foot whatever you are.
Bro, he ain't 6. Okay, he is not 6'8", bro. He's like 6'6".
You know what I mean? So let me read the super chat. Shout out. Yo, who Mike is that, man?
Who do you think? That's the ghost of Usyk Gamboa coming back.
Deed says Triple G versus Pirog if it happened. Listen,
Pirog. I had Pirog.
I mean, if they would have fought when Pirog was Pirog, then you kind of got to favor Pirog, right? If they would have met when he was around and he was doing his thing, then you kind of got to favor Pirog.
The Grandmaster.
Man,
Real Talk says salute ring. Fight. My boy Country need the link. I got you.
I had fell off, but I'm back on, man. Thank you.
Drew said, are you glad the zone put the hammer down for Munguia versus Berlanga and Oscar is quiet all of a sudden since Virgil Hunter pulling out? Well, look, he's in a bad spot because if you the zone and you be giving these people a budget to do shows, really think about what's been going on. The Golden Goose laid an egg on Showtime and got knocked out. Virgil, he's supposed to have a rebound. Azerto supposed to have a rebound fight. It gets called off. On Virgil, he's supposed to do the thing with Stanionis. It gets called off. And it gets to a point where it's like, yo, you got to give us something because the last 12 months, you haven't given us anything. You need to put Munguia in that ring with Berlanga because these other shits that you was planning on doing, none of that shit panned out. None of that shit.
Don't forget Canelo's gone too, so they can't go back to the well for that either.
Exactly. Yeah, man. When Oscar sobers up, he's going to be in such trouble.
Who do you favor in that fight, Jules?
Oh God, and Trotty.
Well, this is the shit. I mean, experience. Like, look. It's not that I like Munguia, but he's been in the trenches. He has.
Yep.
Dennis Hogan, that was a hard fight for him. Takeshi Inoue, that was a hard fight for him.
Sergey.
Gabriel Rosado, that was a hard fight for him. Derevyanchenko, that was a hard fight for him. And you just think about those people, or at least the ones that are nearby, and you think, would Edgar have been able to beat or even go the distance with the Sergey that he just fought? And I'm being real, like, nah, I don't think he would.
Jules, compared how Edgar reacted to how Jaime reacted once they were both in the trenches and having a problem. Edgar resorted to biting and frustration. Jaime weathered the storm and came back. That's why I think if they fight, that Jaime's going to beat him.
And the other thing is that, look, Jaime, for all his flaws, right, motherfuckers don't appreciate how rough it is in Mexico. You're talking about a New York cat. God bless him. I don't got nothing against him. I'm just saying that New York ain't Mexico. Don't get it twisted. It's not Mexico, bro. Yeah. It's a couple of ghettos. Yeah. That's different than living in Mexico, bro. Right? You need to understand that Jaime, for all his flaws, he might fuck Edgar up. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I don't think Jaime would have got dropped by Coceres.
Right? But dropped by Coceres, getting angry and biting Romer and Gulo. I'm just saying that some of these, like, think about it. It would have made sense to have the Philly Rican fight the New York Rican, right? Gabriel Rosado versus Edgar Berlanga. They didn't want to know. When he was at Top Rank, they didn't want to know. Jesse Hart. They wanted to put him in there with Jesse Hart. They didn't want to know.
Didn't he go life and death with Steve Rolls, too, if I'm correct?
Now, here's $1 million question. Does the zone say fuck it and do a cheap pay-per-view for this?
I don't know. Because they go by the metrics. They go by the projections. What do they think it would do at the box office? I think it would be more valuable to them based on projections to not do it as a pay-per-view and just make it part of the regular subscription, because people will subscribe just to see that fight, which, kind of makes it a pay-per-view. Yeah. But if you bill it as a pay-per-view, aren't you going to cut off, like, just because it's on pay-per-view don't mean people are going to buy it.
And that sells out on either coast, though, right?
I mean, of course, but I think that I really do feel like Jaime is the A side. Yeah. I honestly do think he's, like, you do okay. Like, I'm not knocking a Puerto Rican kid, but you do all right at the Hulu Theater. That kid, like, Jaime is the A side, bro.
Jaime does really good, too, in his
Mexican
market.
Puerto Rico fights always sell.
As much as we don't want to give the guy credit, he does sell very well in California. He does have a fan base down there.
Yeah.
He is the A side.
Who's got the music going on?
Let me see. Caesar D says, please debate punch drunk boxing. He a Andre. Man, listen, man.
Don't waste your time.
No, it ain't even that. It's that. I think, shout out to Big Neezy, because we talked about that the last time he was here. That, like, it's some of these content creators that they whole thing is being a mascot for. You can't debate a mascot. It's like the things that Dev Sani says, in other words, right? We could sit here getting mad that Dev Sani is blowing smoke up everybody's ass about Daniel Dubois, or he's blowing smoke up everybody's ass about Fury and Ngannou. At the end of the day, that's what he do. That's his position. So there's nothing to debate or discuss with that guy. Like, nah, you just gonna say whatever because that's what they paying you for.
He get paid to do that. I'm not gonna argue with nobody that get paid to be stupid.
Yeah, like there's not a win in there. Like, the win has to be something else. Like it can't be a debate because there is no debate. He gets paid to say that dumb shit. He talking up Daniel Dubois now. Remember, he was talking up Anthony Yard ahead of the Better B fight. Yeah, he gonna do this. He gonna do that. It's like, yo, what the fuck you talking about, bro? You gonna get knocked the fuck out? What are you talking about?
Jules, how much fish are you eating in 2 weeks on a Saturday?
Oh, bro. Like,
fish
like
fry.
I said,
how much fish you got?
You know what this shit is? Bro? The shit is that I try, like, I see the dumbass posts too from these guys. I'm like, I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna argue. Because that shit is gonna hurt y'all. That shit, and that guy lose, that shit is gonna hurt y'all.
Mm-hmm. Fulton and Crawford
in the same week. Don't let it be in the same week. Don't let it happen.
Let me tell you something. When I knew Errol Spence was in trouble when he said this, I knew he was in trouble prior to this, but I knew he was in deep shit. He said during the press conference, this was the first press conference, he says, yo, I got to be concentrated. Every boxer knows it has to be, you have to be concentrated. Otherwise, you're going to get hurt. So at the end of the day, he knows that, yo, this cornpone motherfucker who looked at the ground, went to look to see if his teeth was on the ground. If he does that against Crawford, Crawford might kill him.
That's what I'm saying, yo.
Like he really stopped in the middle of a fight as the guy is still throwing punches. Like Ugas still throwing punches. You literally stopped.
Jules, he did that in another one of his fights too. He didn't do that just once. He's done it more than once. That's
so
the man's got dead. The man's got fake front teeth. He's got an eye falling out of the socket, and he's an alcoholic.
I think that he's doing this. I think that he's just doing this. Probably, if I had to just like, Errol, then if it's like that, then why you doing this? It's just to settle his spirit, I think, and I respect that though. Like, I don't care about his fans. The hell with his fans. These people are weirdos. But I respect that he probably in here knows I probably could lose this thing, but fuck it. I gotta respect myself. I gotta do this. I gotta see if I can beat him. Probably feels that he can't beat him. Maybe he doesn't feel he can beat him, but he's willing to find out after all this shit. So that I could respect, because to me, it was not Al's plan to make this fight. I wholeheartedly believe that this fight is happening against Al Heyman's best wishes. Against,
And
like,
I
not
look at it from this perspective.
He'd rather Arrow get knocked out quick against Canelo than get an ass whipping by Crawford for 10, 11
because
rounds.
Crawford would change his like look, either one of the two, to be honest, if they get him in the ring, they'll change his fucking life. Not in a good way either, right?
No, but there's a difference. Sorry for cutting you off. But if he loses to Canelo, there's a built-in excuse. He moved up 3 weight classes.
Oh yeah,
you know how it is. There's built-in excuse. If he loses to Crawford, he just lost to the better man.
Yeah. And they don't want that. I mean, they don't want that.
He's their cash cow over there at
I look at it from here, though, too. He fucked up his career by staying at 147 for too long, and that car accident trying to be something that he wasn't, bro. So, like, deep down inside, he's really going to look at his career when he's retired. He's like, damn, I fucked this shit up. Like, yo, I was one of the flag bearers of this new PBC thing, and had I just disciplined myself and was around the people that, you know, were the right people for me, not the people that, I had to keep it real with. Because you know how, us.
But Chris, you trying to make him something he already's not. He's not Roy Jones like that. Did y'all see that interview Roy Jones talking to Big Baby?
Yo, I seen that shit.
Big Baby's even saying it now. He want to get out by 27. Like, he's like, I didn't ask for all this pressure. And like the same thing with Arrow. I just want to go to my ranch with my horses. Like,
just want to go to my ranch, ride my horses.
The guys ain't built like Roy Jones. Were like, I need the glory.
Well, I just think that I just think that America as a whole, most of it went soft. Like that's where it's at. Like that's where it's at. A lot of the shit that's going on out there, not exclusive to boxing, is because America went kind of soft. Like boxing is a poor man.
Really soft.
I mean, to me, really soft. But hey, you know, like
really soft. We got Adam 22 out here being.
I seen a video of a TikTok joint. Right, this is an example of how rotted these people's brains are now. They got gifts on TikTok, right? Like just the same way they got super chats here, they got like gifts on TikTok. And the bitch is sitting there making noises for every gift that the bitch gets. Like if she get a cheesecake, ooh, a cheesecake, ooh, a cheesecake. And it's like, yo, the bitch is just sitting there doing this shit on repeat. And I'm like, and I didn't understand, like, why does this bitch keep saying all this dumb shit? And it's because they're sending her gifts. And this is how badly rotted their brains are. This is what the youth aspires to now. They don't aspire to be engineers and doctors and lawyers and people of substance anymore. They just want to be on social media with the podcast, with the selfies. The fucking pop, like it's all going downhill, man.
You know the worst thing about that too is some of those are worth like 1.5 cents. So you're muttering, going, "Oh, cheeseburger, oh, ice cream for a penny, for a penny." You're selling your soul for a penny.
What about we got Adam 22, bro?
Yo, quiet as kept. I'm gonna tell you, Villain. I ain't trying to get all spiritual now. I'll leave my religion to myself. But that is literally what I believe is happening. You're selling your soul for a penny. You showing people that they can control you with a little bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
So what is Adam 22 doing?
Well, if you
it's a cuck, bro. That's assuming he loved that. See, but y'all looking at it a little bit backwards. Y'all looking at it like he loved that woman. I look at their marriage as a business transaction.
I think he has a humiliation kink, though.
See, at first I thought, yo, this dude is a weirdo. Why did you even marry this bitch? If you know what I mean? And now I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. You know, sometimes them power couples and those relationships are really business transactions and business relationships. He don't love that bitch.
What is a marriage?
It's a convenience relationship.
Jules, what is a marriage but just
that's
a business
exactly
merger?
what it is. But the rebranding of a man to be that
Bro,
way.
come on now. Like, let's not get extra philosophical. You marry a bitch because you fucking love her. Ideally, that's why you do it. You get married because you love the woman, right? Now, do I think he loves that woman? Absolutely not. Not if you watching her get shagged by another dude, which begs the question, is this a real marriage or is this a business relationship? Because there is such a thing that like y'all get together and y'all pretend and all of that. Hollywood is full of those. They're like, yo, y'all fake it together, y'all fuck it. Like, and that's what I think, because I'm like, yo, he really bought this bitch a car after she just got rimmed by this guy? Like,
Well,
nah,
I mean,
what is going on
She probably paid for half of it.
Yeah, right. Like,
but Jules, they're rebranding Jules that men love that humiliation cuck thing now. They love that fucking label.
Yeah, but that's another thing is the men are not gonna look. If we're gonna have a real conversation, there's a bunch of guys that are grown-ups. Until men are ready to be disciplined, stop giving these bitches all your power. Stop liking their pictures. Stop telling them how pretty they are. Unless you about to stick your dick in that broad, you don't need to tell her nothing. The bitch is in Florida, and you over here in I don't know, fucking Wisconsin. You don't need to be liking her shit. Why? You ain't gonna fuck. You just feeding her ego. Every single one of these guys that sits on social media and lavishes compliments on women they're not gonna shag. All you're doing is feeding their ego. And until men, the real men, are ready to stop fucking doing that, there's no point. You know why you're doing it. We're all men. We all know why we do shit like that. Because we trying to get laid. We gotta say something. We gotta do something. We gotta right? Hey, bro, realize you're not gonna fuck that broad. Never mind how she look. You know what you need to do? Go outside, flirt with the fucking cashier. Get a blowjob from her. You know? Be real. Go outside.
What realistically
blowjob from the cashier? That'll solve it.
What realistically do women love more than anything? They love attention. Women are addicted to attention. Any attention.
Yeah, they are, boy.
And the power that they are gaining by way of social media, see, it's like macaroni and cheese, which I always refer to as like the genius paradox. It's genius because of how simple it is. The ingredients are simple, you know, but that's the genius in it. When it comes to this problem, the genius in it, right, to stop it, all this cuck shit, all this weird shit, is simple, but they won't do it. I don't believe they'll do it because there's too many simps.
You know what it is, though? The cucks have more access now. There's always been cucks.
No, the cucks are more shameless.
And there's more. What I'm saying, more access. There used to be only a place where that could go. Was at the brothel.
No, te lo voy a decir. It's like this. See, Drew. I'm gonna use Drew as an example. Drew is a control. Drew don't gotta sit here online licking ass because when he gets off of the online, he's gonna be in some pussy. So what the fuck do I look like? Oh my God, you're so beautiful today. Oh my God. You just, what the fuck am I telling you that shit for, bitch?
You had like fucking Stevie Wonder and shit while you say that. It's just like, yo, you look bad. Like, oh my God, you're so beautiful.
No, because I see this, like, listen to me. I see this shit all the time, right? And I'm like, I see what it is. Or I see the dichotomy that Drew don't gotta sit here. Oh my God. On some online bitch just because she posts a thirst trap. Drew is a Capricorn. He's gonna go outside, gonna get some pussy. Like, what am I gonna waste that on you for? Like, no, go outside.
And the same thing with Jules, yo. Before he was married, don't let him fool you. He knew how to do the dancing, merengue, but he's taking bitches dancing.
I don't like talking about myself. I don't like talking about myself. The point that I'm making is that a large part of it, is that the world is now streamlined for cucks and hermits. They have found use for them, use for their attention, which in our era, at least in my era, it was unwanted because these people that are doing this are creeps. That's who they are. In a real life setting where you're here and she's there, she doesn't want your compliments, bro. That bitch don't want to sit next to you. But online,
she's calling the police.
But online, where that attention can be monetized, quantified and monetized, well, now they've found use for you. And until you're ready to take your power back, which they're not. I believe the worst in people. And you're not going to do that. Men, as a collective, would have to say, yo, stop liking bitches shit on Instagram. You are not going to fuck that broad. Stop leaving compliments in the comments. You are not going to fuck that broad. You're not. It's a waste of time. The only thing you're doing is feeding the ego of someone who would not cross the street to spit on you. Because if you, like, it's a fantasy almost. It's like that fucking...
And there's a lot of thirsty mofos out there too, man. You see it all the time.
So what you're saying is we're moving towards the demolition man society. Remember the cuck that was
absolutely no, but that's a vision of the future though. Like that's not cap. Like, yo, that's where it's going because the meek have inherited the earth. The meek had, like, before these kinds of individuals
talking about.
Not them, right? But these guys was useless before, these hermits and creeps and weirdos. But because everything is digital now and metrics are quantifiable, they can be monetized. They have found use for the depravity and strangeness of these individuals because you don't think it's 39,000 well-to-do men liking these bitches' pictures. No, those are fucking losers, bro.
No.
So when are you leaving this? When are you going back to your? Is your experiment done? When are you going back to your home?
Hey, read the super chat, Jules. Read the super chat.
Undefeated said, hold on. Why is this shit taking so long? All right, Undefeated says, I didn't like talking about myself, AK y'all chill. Yeah, like what the fuck, bro? Like speak cold, motherfucker.
And no, that's why I specifically said before your past, before you was married.
You think they don't care about that, bitch?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, no, because
listen, the point that I'm making, the whole point that I'm making is that the ratio of well-to-do men versus losers has always been small. You know, the talkers versus the doers, the guys that are actually doing well, that they're not. Bitch, I'm not gonna sit here blowing smoke up your ass to get some fucking pussy. There's probably a fat joint down the street that'll suck my dick. I ain't gotta say shit. I'd rather get a blowjob than give you a big ego, right? The well-to-do guys, there's always been a smaller number of them than there have been of like the losers and the simps and the guys that got to do all this shit just to, just think they're gonna get somewhere and they're not. Like, I could go on. This is a lot of that, right? What makes it hard now is that they have turned that into a revenue stream. It's a whole infrastructure. It's a whole system. I mean, think about it. OnlyFans, in an era where pornography is literally free. You ain't even got to go to Pornhub. You could go on Twitter and see porn. For some reason, these guys are willing to pay for this specific porn. Like, bro, I don't even know if there's a word for how fucking dumb you are.
Those guys are not paying. Those guys are not paying for porn. They're paying because they're such losers. They can't get a girlfriend. Those women will fake pretend like they care about what you have to say and do. They're not paying for. They're paying for a girlfriend experience, man. These dudes cannot go outside and get a woman. They have no social skills. That's why they're doing it.
But what else is crazy is look. Let's be. Everybody's everybody. Everybody ain't the same. Maybe an individual is a little bit socially awkward. He doesn't know how to go about, pulling some joints. I ain't gonna hold it against you. I'm not your judge. I'm just saying, take that money, get yourself a hooker, even yourself out, and you'll learn little by little. Because what you are doing with this digital environment is you are literally killing the social skills that are necessary to breed the next generation of people. That's what you're doing. That's why the population and birth and marriage is all going down. It's because of the systematic breakdown of copulating, of getting together and making families. That's dying, bro.
I read this article that there was this guy that paid like $34,000 to this OnlyFans girl to meet him. And I was like, what the fuck? You know how many fucking hookers you could have bought with $34,000?
Yo, I'm trying to yo, somebody will look at me and think, or they'll hear me and think, yo, this dude is bugging. You telling this dude to get a hooker? Absolutely. You need to build your confidence, right? Get yourself a fucking hooker. Bust her ass. Try some tricks. That's what she there for, you know what I mean? The money that you're wasting, in other words, for wasting money on that depravity, shoot for the real thing and get some skills out here, B. Get your resume up, you know what I mean? By the time you done, you might be motherfucking Ron Jeremy out here. Because for the shit you doing, that would be better than the shit you're doing. You're giving your money away, your attention away, and you ain't even busting a real nut.
That's why, Jules, and that's why, because you're right. It feels like they're trying to purposely destroy the family for what nefarious purpose? I don't know. We should all bless Philip Rivers. We should all bless that man. 10 kids now with one woman. Just single-handedly repopulating the earth.
He's on number 11 now. I think his wife's pregnant again.
There's a lot of little there's a lot of little things. There's a lot of things about your planet that your species doesn't understand until they experience them. For some men, they don't feel purpose until they become fathers. Families are actually very, very important. But what I see is, they breaking down that entire structure, the family structure, the husband, the wife, the children, the purpose, the greater good, and the responsibility. They breaking all of that down by telling you, oh, well, it's all about you. There is no greater good. There is no higher power. There is no higher up. It's all about you and what you want to do right now. So if you want to be an ice cream cone right now, go ahead, be an ice cream cone right now. Because it's all about you. And they're telling everybody the same thing. They're telling, it's all about you. You know, this individualism shit, right? That's what causes the breakdown of the family unit. That no, it's not all about you. Sometimes it's about other people. Sometimes it's for the greater good.
I just saw a stat like 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago. It said that only 17% of people, or only 17% of homes now have an actual like marriage with kids, meaning like a man and woman got married who are raising their children. That's 17% of the population now.
That's a sad statement.
That's it.
And that's bad. It's bad because, like, if you don't have kids, right? It's just like a whole, like, I would have to try to put it in like essay form, in other words, because it has a trickle down effect that if you remove certain things, if you remove certain shit, everything else starts to break down. And if you keep telling everybody, oh, well, it's all about you, Jules. It's all about what you want to do. Never mind having a family. You ain't got to marry no bro. You ain't got to do none of that. It's all about you. You tell enough people that, the whole thing breaks down because they all worried about themselves. They're not Jules, giving them. Yeah, go ahead.
Garcia says you're a real Dominican based off what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, like
I love how we having this heavy ass topic, but then Amy Adams, like my foreskin, is on the bottom, trailing past the screen.
It's the duality of man.
Yo, but it's real though. Like it's real. Like that's a real thing.
Jules, the family unit is really important, and we lack that in our society.
And the continued survival of the species, because that's the purpose of the family unit. The family unit breeds the next generation, and that's kind of what's breaking down. At least in the West, you could say that the people in the East, for all of their drawbacks and all of their flaws, they're still traditional. They're still breeding at a great rate for them, but it's in the West that you see a sharp decline.
Yeah,
all of those things are interconnected. They are. Like, if society is becoming weaker, you don't think that has something to do with that? You should pay attention.
Well,
it sure does.
I also love it when the West has their own like societal problems, and then they try to impose their fucking problems, however it works for y'all, onto other societies. That's what I despise.
Oh
When I see
yeah.
Americans like impose like this great system that they have in place on an Eastern European or a Western European, like just is beautiful.
Yeah, because America still thinks that. How many times have you come on here and heard me say that in America's mind, or in the mind of some Americans, not all, but some still think it's the 80s, while the others are ingrates and they don't appreciate that this still is the land of opportunity. The truth is, nobody is stopping you from doing the shit you want to do. That is a lie that you tell yourself to compensate for your fucking failures. If you want to do something, you can go do it. You just want there to be this bad guy, this villain, so that you have an excuse to be a piece of shit. Because if you want to fucking do something, yo, you can, fam. It really is like that. Like, yeah, if you want to do something, you want to be a director, you want to make movies, go do it.
Hell, I'm a first.
Well, maybe not right now, but
I'm a first generation.
Well, not now. No, fuck now. But
I'm a first.
I
gen
want to be a
immigrant from
cowboy.
Ukraine.
You think I can do it, Jules?
You can do whatever you set your mind to, bro.
Anything is available. Like I said, I'm a first generation immigrant. Half my family are. I got a bachelor's going on a doctorate. I got cousins that are already doctors. I got cousins that are nurses. But I see home Americans born and raised that are still living on the side of the string.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a lot of guys I know that back home knew that it's like you don't want nothing better. You just prefer to complain, and it's easier to blame it on some invisible bad guy or so. It's easy to do that because actually doing the work for the shit you claim you want is very, very difficult. And you don't want to do that. You're lazy. Just call it what it is.
Jules? You know what I think it is? Someone asked them their feelings. That's when everything started going down. A man was asked his feelings, as if anybody gave a fuck.
Yeah, like everybody got fucking feelings, you know what I mean? Everybody, but feelings, you're not supposed to let your feelings rule you, man, because you don't feel like going to work, but you do to survive, because nobody's going to come in here on a cloud and bring you food every day, right? And if somebody does, all right, well, then you're not a man, all right? You're a child, because part of being a man is taking care of yourself, being able to.
Well, also a big part of it is being disciplined and being able to control your emotions, man. So you think.
Oh yeah, that's huge, because you can't fly off the handle every time you feel something. Like, nah, you bugging. You got to keep that shit in check, bro. That's part of being a grown up. Sometimes you feel good, sometimes you feel bad, sometimes you don't feel nothing. But you having purpose is what makes you go do shit. And what's wrong with a godless society like this one is you kind of took people's purpose from them. So now it's just all about satisfying whatever momentary urge they have, irrespective of what the consequences are now and what they will be later. They don't care about anything. They don't even really care about themselves. They think they do, but nah, because you're not looking at 10 steps ahead anymore. You're just looking at now. Now. This is what you want now, no matter what it does to you later.
The way that you described it, bro, that is how it is right now, bro. Like, straight up, yeah.
The internet changed their synapses because the internet influenced culture in such a way that whatever you want to see, you see it now. Whatever you want to hear, you hear it now. Whatever you want to buy, you buy it now. And that's the way their mind is now. Whereas older guys like me in country, yeah, good things do come to those who wait. In fact, sometimes the food tastes better because you had to wait for it. Sometimes the sex is better because you had to wait for it. Waiting sometimes makes things better. You cannot tell this generation that, though. Everything is now.
You can't tell them wait. You can't tell them sacrifice, bro. You say the word sacrifice around them, bro, and they will fucking lose their minds, bro.
Yeah, they don't know what the fuck that is. They think that the idea, to them, just having to work. For example, work is good. And I'm not talking about working for someone. I'm talking about when you got a regimen, a routine, or something that you do, going through those motions. It is good for you. It gets you out of bed. It gets you moving. You can't tell these motherfuckers that they don't want to do anything at all. They don't want to do nothing. They just want to fucking indulge whatever momentary impulses they have, i.e., instant gratification. That is a byproduct of the internet. And a generation who grew up in a world where there was already an internet. Whereas me, Country, and a couple of other guys in our age group, when we grew up, there was no internet. People didn't know. There was no internet. Like,
we were outside doing shit, riding our bikes, going places, hanging out with friends.
Bro, like, wasn't no by the time the internet came around, I was like, by the time it really, because it was around when I was young, my mans in them was real big on it. You know what I mean? Like, he was like a big internet geek guy. Like, he was really into that shit. And I wasn't into that shit. But by the time it really got popular, I think I was already in my early 20s. It's like I was already kind of developed already. So it's not going to have the same effect on me that it might have on a younger person who grew up in a world where this is normal. Everybody's on it. Everybody uses it. There's e-commerce. There's all type of shit. It's a completely different world from that era to this one, and the way that their mind works. Even their cartoons are different.
I'll give you a good example. So when I was 20 years old, this is when like chat rooms existed. So this was like when AOL Instant Messenger, when you had like Yahoo Instant Messenger. This is before photographs. I actually met a girl in a chat room, like a local chat room here, and we met offline, like after talking to each other. We'd never seen each other in person before, right? Never seen this girl. All we could do is describe each other, but we talk on the phone every night. And I ended up meeting this girl. And I remember when I told people that I met somebody off the internet, they thought I was insane. Like, you met someone you didn't know, somebody who was in a different part of town, right? And that was super risky. Nowadays, over 60% of all relationships start online. Exactly. Just gives you an idea of how much has changed.
Cervecero says, more beer money for Reverend Jules. Preach on, brother. Loving the convo. The world is upside down. Trash is class nowadays. There was something called the New York Donut. I got a lot of good blowjobs off of the New York Donut, right? It'd be a lot of Bronx bitches on there. And you would say like a profile, just like how Villain described. You call the shit. Bitches would be on there. Harlem bitches, Brooklyn bitches, New York, Bronx bitches or whatever. They'll get the script, where they at, da-da-da-da-da. And it was like that, like, just like Villain said, you'll meet up with a bitch like, yo, meet me at 145th by the 1 or 145th by the D, because, there are different avenues or whatever. And you used to meet bitches like that, right? Now, you got Bumble and Tinder and Facebook and Insta. It's like, oh, this is normalcy now. Like, this is how y'all get down. And y'all relationships is not based on nothing. Y'all relationships is literally based. If you take out the idea of growing a family, that hierarchy, right? But there are still relationships without that component to aspire to, without that component, that family component, all you really have is sex. That's it. There's nothing to work through when you're not trying to build a family or when you're not looking for a life partner. When you take out that purpose of, yo, this is, you want that to be your wife one day, you want to have kids one day, all the bullshit. If you take it all out, all you left with is a hollow version of a relationship. And it's not going to last. And, well, relationships these days don't last. They don't. People just fucking, which isn't bad if you're young, but, it's all downhill, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good.
It's all downhill from here, Jules.
Now I'm going to go to sleep, and I'm going to go live tomorrow. Y'all motherfuckers be careful out there.
I'm staying inside. It's hot as hell here today, man. It's like
man. I ain't going anywhere.
See y'all.
See y'all. Y'all chill out.
Chilling.
Thanks for having me on, Jules. See you tomorrow night.